meters and 56 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Good afternoon, St. Louis. DGS 1041 FM KMOX. Happy Monday to everybody. Oh, it's such a stupid day. It's just going to be hard. It's one of those, I think a lot of people are feeling the same way. This day looks just like all the days last week that I remember. Like we were here. I remember you were here and you were here.
Yeah,
and we were waiting for the rain delay. And the next thing I knew, it was Monday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Today. And I just feel weird. Not in a very good mood. And here's why I can always tell. This is my third outfit.
I was going to say, I really like that shirt.
Yeah, that is a nice shirt.
I didn't notice you wearing that earlier.
Thank you. Yes. I've changed my clothes 3 times. And it's not like I'm a fashion maven. It's not like, I wanted to have this look. You ever just wear something and you just feel like, ugh.
Yes.
And you go, ugh.
Yes.
So I've changed it 3 times.
Yes, everything I own.
Sometimes I fantasize about like my entire wardrobe being lost, like not like that my apartment burns or something, but like just the clothes burn and I have to start from scratch because I hate all of my clothes and I hate the way I feel in my clothes. So I definitely relate.
We're a good match today. We're going to match each other's energy.
Yeah.
How about you, Wheels?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, usually, that's pretty bad for you.
But usually my problem, like if I have to change something, it's because I find an unexpected stain on the shirt. And I'm like, damn it, can't wear that one.
Yeah, sometimes I just feel slovenly.
Oh.
Like when everything's loose and goopy.
Yeah.
You know?
I guess I'm just comfortable with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a million, but really all it is for me is changing it one T-shirt to another, generally. Like I just wear jeans or shorts, but it's not to work. I don't wear shorts to work.
So Saturday was your bad day.
Saturday was kind of crappy. Yeah. I mean, it just, it's one of those things where it's just a youth baseball thing. Like when it rains, it just sucks. So it's just, there's no other way around it. If you're on a turf field, it's a little less sucky, but like it's colder, it's raining, it's muddy, and you just got to sit around and wait, see if the next game's going to happen. And then it's going to mess up the schedule. It's just like, it's nothing anybody can do about it. It just is what it is, but it sucks.
What do the kids do? Do they run around and play grab ass?
Yes. Yeah. Hopefully they just stay out of trouble. You try to keep them, like if it's raining hard, you're like, you guys got to stay in the dugout. Otherwise they're going to be out running around in the rain.
Yeah.
But when it slows down, they're out just goofing off somewhere, usually walking around and finding something to do. Sometimes they're just off eating, they'll find the parents and they go to the concession stand. But I mean, when I was 14, I'm sure I'd have done the same thing.
Do you have to have eyes on at all time?
No, not
so it's
in those
primarily the parents' responsibility.
Well, I mean, like if they're around us, of course, we're keeping an eye on what's going on. But like in those settings, once you go off by your parents, no, you're all right. It's just a matter of not going too far away in case something changes fast and we need to communicate. But even that's not even a big deal anymore because everything is done through an app.
Yeah.
So it's not like we all need to be standing next to each other to say, hey, this one's canceled, next one's tomorrow or whatever.
Oh, also my phone died.
Oh,
yes.
So I've been there went my my iPad. So I'm using my iPad. I could have gone today, but I didn't have it in me.
Yeah.
So it died, not just lost charge. It died. Oh,
it was already beat to hell. And then
so it was just time
it got
for a new
little
one.
liquid on it somehow. I don't know.
I don't
Somebody spilled their
You don't spill things.
Say?
So
well, it's good. You'll get a new phone and you'll be happy about it.
Drop it in the toilet.
I vote
but
that Dave gets a case for the new phone.
I will. I think I'm with T-Mobile, whatever used to be Sprint.
Oh, yeah.
And when Phoebe just got her phone was cracked, and we have insurance on it, and they make you go get a new phone. They make you go get it fixed.
Oh, okay.
Right? And that sucks.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I want to go, here's my broke-ass phone. I'm going to give it to you. And if I need to give you American dollars, I'll do that.
Right.
But I don't want to go to a completely separate place.
Right.
Get it fixed. Bring it back to you. Right?
Right. I get that.
How is it in 2025 they don't have it more user-friendly? Like, you got a phone? Give it to me. Here's a phone.
Well, a lot of
Doink.
places do that when they're doing promotions, like they're trying to get people to sign up or whatever. But you
Yeah.
just check and see. They're pretty good. The stores I've gone to, the T-Mobile stores, they're pretty good about answering questions and looking for solutions rather than just being like, nope, you're host.
Hope so.
Yeah.
Do you think they look at your pictures?
Yes.
Do you?
I don't think all of them do, but I think some of them definitely do. And you're kind of naive if you think that they aren't doing that.
Shouldn't they have some kind of like some kind of a promise to make to us? Like, oh, and we don't look at your pictures, or we're being filmed the whole time we're working on your phone, or something like that. It seems like a pretty egregious, like vulnerable thing.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. All I know is I sold phones for a long time, and I knew a lot of other people who did it, and I know people who would go through the photos.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for most people, though, on your phone, you got a lot worse of information available there than what's in your photo app.
Right.
What do you mean?
They're like, if you go through my pictures, you're not going to see anything. You're going to be my dogs and,
Right.
Things like that. But a lot of
He
people
means his feet.
have a lot of people have like bank information or passwords saved
Yeah.
on there or whatever. You got Apple Pay set up or whatever, and somebody figures out how to access. I mean, that would be much more worrisome to me than seeing any of my pictures.
Not me. So you can take my finances. So big weekend for you.
Yeah. I had a super fun weekend. I ruined Dave's phone. That was kind of the big event that
It's
happened.
okay.
Threw a bunch of water on it. No, I'm kidding. I went to.
Can you turn the ringer
I
off?
don't know. I don't. It's an iPad.
It's
don't
the same as your
know.
phone.
We're gonna be all show. We're gonna have Wheel Squeaky Mike arm and Dave's little.
I know my little.
Dave's pleasantly gentle. Ding.
There, I turned it off.
There.
He just breaks it over his knee and he's like, "Are you happy now, Rachel?" As if I don't have enough things going
Now I
wrong.
need a new one of those too.
Some of us aren't allowed to communicate during the show.
No, I went to Chicago for my brother's bachelor party.
Mhm.
It was a super fun, exciting weekend. I did a bunch of stuff for the first time. I rode the subway thing, the L train, whatever they call it.
Yeah,
I
the
rode that
L
for
is the
first time.
elevated train, not the subway.
Yeah, same thing. It's the
Subway's underground.
it's the pro way, the Dom way. I don't know the opposite of sub is. So
It's the L because it's
The Dom way.
elevated.
And I got pepper sprayed for the first time.
What?
Oh,
That was
pepper
pretty
sprayed
cool.
you.
So we were getting on the train to go somewhere else. Like we were taking the train somewhere. And so as we're getting on,
It's an excellent start to a good
Very
story.
Yeah,
vague.
yeah.
We were
We're going someplace.
somewhere.
well, I think we were actually going to this movie theater, and then we had to get on and get off the train and get on another train. So we're taking the train to a different train. And this all blew my mind. I've never taken public transit before because I live here, and it was really interesting to try and figure out. And so as I'm getting on the train, you're getting on while other people are shuffling off, and we get in there, and there's a guy who's already sitting there, and he is screaming at somebody who has just gotten off. He's screaming, "That's a weapon! Put that blank away! That's a weapon! You should not have that!" And we're like, okay, that was a little weird. Then he starts complaining. He starts yelling about various things or one thing or another. He starts talking about how ugly, a derogatory word for women that I shouldn't say on the radio are the ones that always want the most attention and all this stuff. He's just yelling. Not really.
He's like a philosopher.
Yeah. One of the great thinkers of our time. And so he's holding court, and we're just, eyes forward, trying not to notice him, try not to pay too much attention. He's just screaming at this group of 7 guys, and we're just like, okay, man. And we start to feel like strange. Like the guy that's next to, it's this guy who we didn't know, and then my brother, and then me sitting down. And this guy starts to kind of start reacting to stuff. I think he's sick because he starts like sneezing and coughing kind of uncontrollably. And then all of a sudden my brother starts doing it, and then I start doing it. And then like kind of our friends on the other side start doing it too. I don't know what's going on. I have no idea what's happening. I had just, I'm not in great shape, as you guys know. And I had to run up a whole bunch of steps to get to this elevated subway. And so when I get to the top, so I think I'm coughing because I have no air in my lungs because I just had to like sprint up like 30 stairs. And or if that's a very small amount of stairs, 200 stairs. And so when I get to the top, and so that's what I think is happening to me, but I'm like, but what's happening to everybody else? And it becomes clear that these people, this woman that had scampered off the train as we got on, had just pepper sprayed this guy because he was harassing her. And now we were dealing with the effects of there being a bunch of. He tanked it. He took it like a champ. He didn't react at all. He's just
Probably
sitting there
not
like
his first time.
Yeah, he's just sitting there like, man, you can't believe this. This is so crazy. I got pepper sprayed again. I can't believe this. And we are all like tears streaming down our face where we can't stop coughing. We can't breathe. And so my brother figures out what's happening. And so he says, we got to get off. We got to get out of this train car. I don't know what's happening. I've never been on the elevated subway before. So I can't, I have my role in this is that I have the extremely flattering and heroic line as he gets up and runs towards the door. So to jump out at the next stop, I say, what's happening to us? Because I don't know I think we've been like, there's like poison gas or something. I don't know what's going on. I think we're in the first, like, the first 5 minutes of the horror movie where there's a compilation showing how the pandemic swept through the nation like crazy and people dropped like flies. I'm like, well, that's what's happening. That's what's happening now. I die in the opening montage of the horror movie. And so we like dive head first out of the car while he's like, okay, you guys have a great day now. And we all kind of like debrief on what happened. But man, I don't recommend the whole pepper spray. That was horrible.
I love that guy was clearly harassing a woman, and then she fights for herself and gets off at the train, and he's like, oh, these broads, they just want attention.
Yeah, he's like, it's always the ugly ones, am I right, fellas? And we're like, good luck with that.
Yikes.
Man, I think we've just been poisoned. And the way my brother reacted, he reacted like it was just like, okay, no, I know what's going on, we just have to get off of this train right now. And so I'm thinking, okay, so they forgot to tell me that one in every train car is you can trigger the poison gas trap that will like kill everybody on the car or something. It was terrible. The rest of it was fun though.
So you didn't necessarily no one pepper sprayed you right
No,
in the
no
eye.
one like
it was remnants.
No, but we were laughing later because there was a bachelorette party staying in the Airbnb directly across the hallway from ours. And so all weekend we found this out from somebody who was like staying behind to sleep more as we were going out to get coffee or whatever, that these girls thought that we were just following them around the city. Didn't even seem to realize that we were staying in the same building as them right across the hallway. And so he would like hear them in the stairwell very loudly walking up the stairs being like, they were following us. We had to close the door so fast because they were right behind us. We weren't.
It's quite a trip.
I know. And it's like, that's why I started yelling like across the hall. I was like, we're staying here too.
Probably didn't help
I
anything.
say that might
We're
not
not
help.
following
Yeah,
you.
probably didn't help.
We're all going to the
We're not
same...
only following you, we're staying across the hall.
Yeah,
from
we're
you.
going to the same place.
So just so you know, we know exactly where you're sleeping tonight. 'Cause we're sleeping there
We
too.
were just pepper sprayed because it's the ugly ones that always want attention.
Well, and it didn't help that we realized that you could hear everything really clearly from the hallway. And so all but everybody who was there was married except for my brother, who's getting married in 2 weeks, and his future brother, his future wife's brother, who was there with us. And so my brother's friend Tim starts in the hallway, like staircase at one point, talking about like, oh boy, it's a good thing that we're all married, because single Tim would have been really making a big deal out of those girls across the hallway there. And I'm like, Tim, they could probably hear us. Don't say that. And I think they probably did.
I feel like I've lived another lifetime just hearing his stories.
We went
He
to
knows how to spin a yarn.
Boy, man.
I walked more than I have walked. I don't remember the last time I walked this much. I must have walked like 15 miles all weekend.
Yeah, it's a big. I mean, if you're in the city in Chicago, you're gonna walk.
And the guy who really planned everything, Cody, my brother's best friend, he is like a biohacker. Like he's super fitness conscious, and he's like doing anything possible to like make himself like more well and more fit.
I want you to take this the right way.
Uh-huh.
You should do a sleep podcast
Yeah, I thought about that a bunch.
because you meander.
Yeah.
Which is a real skill.
Mhm.
It's hard to meander unless you're naturally a meanderer,
Yeah.
which you are.
I put my wife to sleep
Yes.
sometimes on purpose.
Yeah.
Like she'll have me just start, rambling about whatever. And
I don't know how you could fall asleep because every once in a while there's a turn. You're like, what? You did what?
Oh, I think I can make it through those turns.
Wait a minute. Who got what?
I think I can make it through. Tell you guys about the Underdog Fantasy app that Andrew and I have been playing. It is very, very simple. There are a ton of apps like this out there now. If you like simple, if you like straightforward, if you like easy, and if you like having a great chance to win, this is the sports fantasy app for you. You just pick out a player in any sport, pick out a statistic. You think they're going to do higher or you think they're going to do lower. The more players you pick, the higher the payoff. The more difficulty, for example, you're going to get a better payoff if you say that someone's going to hit a home run than if they're just going to get a base. I'm sure it's the same thing with the NBA, the NHL, the MLS. But again, super, super simple. I've been doing very well on it. I don't know that that means anything to you. I'm doing pick'ems of like $20, $25. Some of them paying off in the hundreds. So it's really a bunch of fun. I think you're going to enjoy it. So download the Underdog Fantasy app now using the promo code Glover. That's going to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash. A lot of people have been using that promo code Glover. Must be 18 and present in the state where Underdog Fantasy operates. If you're concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.com.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-969-0686 and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-969-0686. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-969-0686 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-969-0686.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call the Lance Story Law Firm today and let us get between you and the IRS. We'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems and they need to be handled by an expert attorney team who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, DRURY, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
The U.S. Air Force Band of Mid-America is bringing you free concerts May 16th through the 19th, showcasing patriotic music, classical, pop tunes, and more. Get free tickets and locations at afbandtix.org. That's afbandtix.org.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
Total Information AM. Weekdays 5 to 9 on the voice of St. Louis. 104.1 FM. KMOX.
.123 DGS on KMOX. Another gloomy day here. Tomorrow's supposed to be sunny and 75, so that's going to be nice. Stealing this one directly from our friends over at KMOV. Chambers and Laura Hediger and those guys were talking about this, and it just made me laugh. Whether you wash your feet in the shower or not.
Ooh, we got a quick nope from Wheels.
I mean, it does depend.
Laura Hediger, who's on the show tomorrow, was a big no because Gravity shampoo soap.
Yeah.
It all goes downhill.
Yeah.
You got it on your feet.
Yeah.
You can just rinse it off.
Yeah.
And Chambers was like, oh, I scrub my feet every single time I'm in there.
Nope. I mean, there are times, extra muddy baseball game or whatever. There are times you're like, yeah, I got to do that. But
If it is extra sweaty, I will wash them. Otherwise, about once a week, I will put the stopper in while I'm showering and let the water fill up
There you
to
go. Take a little foot
shin
bath.
height or whatever, and just kind of do a little foot bath dealy while I'm washing the rest of me, and I let that soap in the water, and I just kind of
Seems reasonable.
That's probably good enough.
I wash them.
yeah, seems like a
Every
lot of
time?
trouble.
Not every time, but more often than not. Because I mean, I get what you're saying that it's all rinsing down there, but it's like, get a little body wash, wash your feet. Feels nice.
Mine is the saddest of all because I don't have shampoo for obvious reasons.
Right.
But remember last year when I was fostering Lizzie the bulldog?
Mhm.
So I had some bulldog shampoo
Oh, dear.
and didn't use it all. So if I do take the rare shower, I just squirt it down there. And then I use my feet like monkey feet to wash each other.
Oh, that's cool.
Because bending over is hard.
I get that.
Yeah, that
Sure
might
is,
be
buddy.
that might be the new trick.
Yeah.
I like that. Why did I never think of that?
I don't know.
What
I
is-
think bulldog shampoo is fine.
Yeah, what does it smell like?
Good enough
Bulldog.
for bulldogs.
Yeah, I mean the
Bulldogs.
dog shampoo smells like human shampoo. It's no different.
Which I think is wrong, right? I don't like that. I don't like that
What should it smell like?
it should smell like nothing because dogs have a way stronger sense of smell, and I don't want to mess them up. I don't want to confuse
Yeah,
them.
they don't care.
You don't know.
I've had dogs forever. They don't care. They never once act weird.
You don't know. They've never said anything.
Yeah, they don't say man. They never said a word.
The
Never
only-
said a word.
Lucy just takes a bath by like licking her fur, like most cats. And I'm like, how do you smell so good? How,
Oh, yeah.
You smell like a marshmallow dream or something.
Yeah,
Like,
my cat eats the most disgusting things, bugs, lizards. Her food smells terrible. Her treats smell terrible. And then she licks herself all day. And then when she puts her body in my face, it smells like a sugar cookie. I don't get it.
because they're little angels.
They're little angels.
I couldn't feel more like I'm dreaming right now.
Oh, Andrew, you missed it on Friday. Dave had a stethoscope here for reasons I don't remember, and we all tried to listen to our heart, and none of the girls could hear their hearts.
I'm simply shocked.
I don't think he meant that.
All the I'm kidding.
What
I
does
saw
that
it.
mean?
Boy, you came back very misogynistic.
I
from
know.
the
It's like,
top.
oh, of course, the girls couldn't figure out how to
Yeah,
use
that
the
guy in the
medical
train really
equipment.
got to you.
That guy,
No
listen,
kidding.
listen.
Impression.
That
Listen.
guy's gonna be the next biggest podcaster.
Yeah, be like him and Joe Rogan.
He was a compelling orator. I was like, you know what? I'm starting to buy into this guy's
Like,
ideals.
this guy is Socrates.
I'm starting to think this guy shouldn't have been pepper sprayed. I saw that stethoscope. Where did I see it? I saw it somewhere around
Over
here.
here. I just
Okay.
put it back.
Oh, okay. Why was it? Where did it come from?
Came from Julie Lally's doctor because
okay.
I think I'm a doctor, and he's like, "Give Glover this."
Yeah.
It's very
So-
nice.
Doctor.
You are a doctor, obviously.
Well, you watched the pit,
Yeah.
so
You know.
what's your other thing again? You got another one of those adopted professions too.
Well, I got a bunch.
Did you hear the? Oh yeah, that's like every cheesemaker, chocolatier,
Oh, well,
shoe,
chocolatier. But that's not
cobbler,
the
mail deliverer.
The chocolatier is not fake. That was real.
Right.
Actually, is
I conquered that.
very
Yeah.
real. Did you see the insane fact about the pit where Noah Wiley apparently makes all the fake blood for the show?
What? He makes it?
Yeah, he said that in an interview. He's like, I make all the fake blood.
Quick
Was
price.
he being silly?
I don't think so.
understand.
Start your day with an edge.
Total Information AM.
It's like breakfast for your brain. I wake up, I turn on the news.
I gotta listen 3 or 4 times every day.
Debbie Monterey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman.
I like to wake up with the news.
Total Information AM.
It's where I get my news. Traffic conditions and potential weather that's coming.
If it's gonna rain, I wanna know.
Total Information AM. Weekdays 5 to 9
I like to turn it on and just get caught up.
Where I get my news. The news, weather, and traffic.
on the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter. or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights, at home or at work. We'll make your happy place your own. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Tell you guys about Michael's Flooring Outlet. Super simple. If you need flooring, Mike understands. He said this to me once, and I thought it was really very smart and very vulnerable. It's probably the wrong word, a little bit too emotional. But he said, like, look, Dave, when people come in to buy flooring, they either already know that they're going to be buying furniture and lighting and painting the walls, or they're about to find out, because I've dealt with, couples forever, and, dad thinks it's just flooring, but mom says, oh, with this hardwood, we really need to paint the dining room. We really need to get a new sofa for XYZ. So he tries hard to keep his prices very low. It's not a giveaway. You're not going to save 50%, but you're going to get it less expensive than anywhere else from people who truly don't try to fool you, because they want you to tell your friends and your family and make you all little, DGS live endorsement people so that they get more business. He's been doing it 30 years. He's been doing it for coming up on 24 years with me alone. Never had a complaint. Tons of people gush about him all the time. 3 locations, michaelsflooringoutlet.com.
It's time for Dave Murray's weather forecast, sponsored by the Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company.
Still a little bit on the cool side as we go through our Monday afternoon with a mix of clouds and sunshine. Any showers should stay to our south. 64 for the high. We drop into the 50s quickly this evening. Partly cloudy skies. It's chilly overnight. 46 Tuesday. Sunshine. Beautiful day on Tuesday after a chilly start. Nice afternoon, 73, but the clouds come back Tuesday night. Wednesday, clouds with periods of rain showers. I don't see any thunderstorms, but showers, and 68. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Chances are you have a lot of people who depend on you, your family, maybe even employees. Life insurance from Penn Mutual can provide you peace of mind and protect the most important people in your life. Ask your independent advisor or go to pennmutual.com/STL.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in focus and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis. CordellCordell.com.
The doctor's office that accidentally mixed up your files has your social security number. The power company that mistakenly cut your service has your payment info. And the hotel that lost your reservation has your passport number. You need LifeLock because your personal info is in endless places that can expose you to identity thieves. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
It's not too late for a deep spring cleaning on your home. Give my friends at Zero Res a call today. Get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $129. Take $75 off your air duct cleaning. Visit ZeroResSTL.com and tell them that Dave Glover sent you.
We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and we're here for all of life's wins. Like when you get a new car, or new boat, or new driver, or when your son moves out, but your mom moves in, or you find out you're expecting again, or when one rental property turns into 2, then 20, or you realize they're all in Tornado Alley. Life is full of life events, so call your Missouri Farm Bureau insurance agent or visit mofbinsurance.com to find an agent near you, and we'll make sure you have the right coverage for each of life's wins.
We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and we're for the people of Missouri, in good times and in bad. We're for Missouri families and Missouri communities. We're for giving back to those communities and lifting people up. And when Missouri weather rips through our state, we're for helping put back the pieces. We're for brighter days and new tomorrows. We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance. And if you live in Missouri, we're for you.
Tonight, the Cards, the Pirates,
Emma Total Access 550.
Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Welcome back, DGS 104.1 KMOX. 1:33 in the afternoon. So why is there poop on the moon?
Okay, so during the Apollo missions, I guess whenever you're ready to blast off from the moon, no pun intended, you want to get rid of as much weight as you possibly can.
Right.
So they dumped, again, no pun intended, a bunch of stuff on the moon, including some human poo-poo. And there's something like 96 pounds of it or something just sitting on the moon right now.
How did they make 96 pounds of poop?
I think it was over several missions, and I mean, it's like
They didn't
it's
clean
from
it
the
out in
whole
between?
journey there, I believe.
And it's what?
It's from the whole journey there, I believe.
Still, that's a bunch.
It is a lot. It's also like urine and stuff too. It's not just poop. But they're starting
Think
to
of the
say,
urine,
like,
Dave.
all right, if we're gonna start going to the moon again, we can't just have like trash bags of this stuff or wherever it's stored just sitting there.
Can't they just like kick it and fly it into space?
It just goes.
we need a poop planet.
But they're really trying to make plans now to safely dispose of this. I don't know if they want to bring it back to Earth or shoot it into space, as you guys were saying.
And there's
but it's a real problem.
There's a lot of crap in space, so why not?
Literally.
Hit the Tesla that's floating out there. Remember that?
Yeah.
That was dumb.
Yeah. Robert says, hey, DG, is there any one specific shop that you've gotten your tattoos from? About 70% of them come from Jay Johnson at Transcendent Tattoo Collective in Imperial Arnold. So that's the guy that did most of my tattoos. Great guy. Great tattooer.
I had a dream this weekend that someone was tattooing me against my will.
Wow.
Yeah, it was intense. And then I was like, I don't have to take this. I got up and I walked out.
Like at gunpoint?
No, it was like it was in a situation where it's like they were in a position of authority over me and they're like, you got to get this tattoo. And I'm like, I really don't want it. And they were doing it anyway. And I was like, you know what? I can actually just get up and leave. So I did.
It's a pretty reasonable dream.
Yeah.
Power move.
Yeah. I was glad that I got up and left, Wheels, rather than just take the tattoo. Because you know
what was the tat?
I don't know. It was like a word or something they were tattooing. They were tattooing it onto my back so I couldn't see it. It's a weird dream. I've been having intense, kind of symbolic dreams lately. And then I saw like a TikTok a couple weeks ago that it was like, I'm just going to choose to ignore that intensely symbolic dream that I had because I got too much going on right now. And I was like,
I don't have time for this.
I was like, I really relate to this.
You know what I was thinking about over the weekend? Remember noogies?
Yeah.
Has anything replaced the noogie? I have to believe that second and third graders are still beating the crap out of each other.
I'm sure they're doing it. I may not call it that, but I bet that's what they do.
Oh, those sucked.
Those were terrible.
Those are bad.
It all depends on who's doing it. Because like if it's somebody that's bigger than you and stronger than you, then it really sucks. If it's an equal, it's really not that bad.
Yeah.
Man, I've said this before, but nothing sends a chill down my spine more than the promise of a wet willy. Like when I first heard about this, I'm like, I can't believe it's legal for you to do that to another person. That's sick.
Probably
And
gonna
that's
do jail
wrong.
time.
Why is that legal?
It's twisted.
It is bad.
Oh, it's gross.
Yeah, it is bad.
Which, is, by the way, when you're a kid, that's the point.
Yes.
Never given one.
Yeah, because you're a good person.
Yeah.
Man,
had a few.
Speaking of nuggies,
I feel like Wheels is giving a couple. There's the way
Yeah.
his face looks
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
I think that was his specialty.
I'm not saying nothing.
That willy was always wet.
I'm not saying nothing.
Speaking of noogies, I have
Is this going to be another one of those stories?
yeah, I have a bruise on my head because I kept whacking my head on the train like roof, like 3 separate times, all in the exact same place.
Why?
And the last one was because I just didn't expect it to be there, and so I would rise for whatever reason, and I would just slam it right on the top there. And the last one was when I was getting off the train, and it was so bad that the people around me said, "Are you okay?"
Oh, this is like in your seat on the long train, not the commuter trains.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like an airplane. You've got that low thing right above you.
The long train. Yeah, that's what I was calling it.
You're really trying to help him out.
I am. Because I'm like, you're not that tall. You know, but then I thought about it, like, on the airplane, everybody can hit their heads on that.
Yeah. And so I was
Usually
whacking.
not 3 times, though.
I was whacking that thing like crazy. And yeah,
Don't say it that way.
And everyone was like, "Sir, please stop."
Are you okay?
And that's when I did the wet willy.
But they literally did, like, they were like, stop it, stop doing that. Are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine.
I had that at the airport one time. I was like sitting at this table and there the way they had the light fixture over the table was like, I can't be the only one who was hitting their head on this. And I think I hit my head 3 separate times getting up. And you feel so stupid because it's like, the first time it's embarrassing. The second time it's like, oh wow, she really did it
He's
again.
doing it on purpose.
The third time there's no excuse.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's none. And
No.
everyone turns and looks at you.
Maybe part of it is because I was about to get off the train, so I wasn't too worried about it. But the third time it happened, I whacked it, and I just the loudest like expletive. I couldn't help it. I was just like, ah!
There's not much that.
Can I tell them what you told me about your future brother-in-law?
Oh, yeah.
He's like, I'm not sure.
It's just everybody liked him more than me.
I think I'm starting to see why.
Yeah. No, I didn't say I didn't understand it. I just said it was a bummer.
Oh man.
So you feel like he stole your thunder?
I just felt like the least interesting person there. You know, everybody
How
there.
is that possible?
Yeah, everybody there is like, you know, they have really interesting like jobs and they do really interesting stuff.
Thanks.
And they well, like they're all
You had
like
to have the most interesting job.
well, it was that they all have they're all like movie people. They all love movies more than anything, and then they all also like all work in the film industry in various different jobs. So I shouldn't say that like my job wasn't interesting. It was just that they were all more interested in each other's jobs, you know, than mine. Like I would try to jump in with something and they'd be like, "Oh, we don't care about that."
They're like, "Shut up, radio guy. We want to talk movies."
You didn't work on
Why don't you
Atlanta.
hit your head again on the ceiling?
Yeah. Well, they never saw that part.
Oh, wow.
That was just for me and my
That's
train.
a good thing. Only strangers.
That was just for me and my train friends.
Oh man,
It hurts wearing the headphones hurts my head because this band is directly over the.
I thought you were in like a
Bruise.
big double-decker bubble train.
Oh, it was immensely comfortable, but there was one part of the ceiling, like where the luggage rack was,
Clearly.
that was kind of low,
Right.
and that was exactly where I kept hitting it every time.
Did you keep hitting it?
Well, I almost said the other word again, and I'm like, no, don't do it a third time.
That'll make it come true.
Yeah, then at that point it's a wish.
like Beetlejuice.
At that point it's a ritual.
Now he's doing it.
There we go again.
Oh my gosh. What did Portnoy say?
Okay, so there was like this restaurant or this nightclub where I had
It's
to
his
look up
bar.
this. Okay, I
So
didn't
it's a
realize it was
Barstool
his
bar in
Okay.
Philadelphia.
Yeah, you take it, Wheels, because I just skimmed the
It's-
headline and saw what he wanted to do, and I was
Yeah.
like, what?
So there's a Barstool bar in Philadelphia. I guess there's more than one, but that's one, and he cares about it a lot. Dave Portnoy, who obviously owns Barstool. And somebody, I don't even know if I want to say what was on a sign. It was a really anti-Semitic message. And they have these little signs on like bottle service. And the person wanted to put this on there. And it's a bad one. And it went viral. Somebody took a picture of it, and then it got to I forget the name of the Twitter account, but it was an account that tracks anti-Semitic behavior. It says at Barstool Portnoy or whatever, are you okay with this? Because this was at your bar this weekend. And when he found out about it, he went to track down. He went out and he's trying to find who it was, and he did find who it was. Fired one of the servers that actually I think wrote the message on there at the request of the customer. Basically said, "You're the biggest idiot in the world for doing that," and fired that person. And then yelled at some other server who also saw it. And then apparently I saw his video. He said he called these guys and they were basically in tears saying, "I'm not like that. I'm not like that." And he's like, "You think I'm going to give you any forgiveness?" And he's going after them. And I think he wants to dox them, like put out their name and who they are and all that. He's holding back on that because I think the way he said it was he's going to give them a chance to show that they're actually sorry and not just cry on a phone call. To demonstrate that they're sorry
Must
for
have
what
been
they
pretty
did.
bad.
Well, it's unacceptable.
I don't want to say it because I don't want those words to come out of my mouth on a radio.
Okay.
But it's essentially what the Nazis did to Jewish people.
So did you hear the second part of it, Wheels?
So I don't know if I caught the second half of this.
So the second half is initially Dave Portnoy was like, I'm going to destroy these people's lives because they deserve it. But then he did talk to them. Well, now he's going to send them to Auschwitz.
Yeah, he did say that, right.
And I guess he's going to pay for it. And now people are like, wait, is this really the proper way to handle it? Because I get it. You want to show these guys like, hey, this is something that really happened. Learn your history here. Hopefully it'll have a deep impact on them and they will never say anything or joke about anything like this ever again. But at the same time, it's like, it kind of feels like a reward in a sense where it's like, now you get to, I mean, it's not like the most fun trip in the world. You're not going to Cancun or something. You're going to a concentration camp, but it's like, is this really the way to handle it? So there's a little bit of a controversy going on about that, like whether he's making the right choice in doing that.
Yeah, I get what he's trying to do. I mean, if you're going to do it, you almost need to go and be a part of it.
Well, he's very performative.
Oh my God, yeah, that's exactly what he is. And again, as he's a business owner, and obviously you don't want anything you don't want anti-Semitism, you don't want racism, you don't want sex, you don't want any of that stuff associated with your business because then you'll lose business. There were a lot of bros that were like, I'm disappointed at you, man. What about free speech? And he's like, it's my place, man. I'm not the government. I own this place. If I don't want it, it's not there. Period. The end. Every business has that right when it comes to dress code, when it comes to conduct, when it comes to all of those things. And I think if he's doing the Auschwitz thing, the way to do it would be go with them. So they're not just going to just like clown around and do their thing. Bring other and set up like a program, but do it like fly in one day, go the next day, and then fly home that night. Like don't make it a vacation.
Right.
It's a business trip.
And now Stuttgart.
Right. It's a business trip, and you are going to get a guided tour from people that can tell you why this is a terrible thing to put on a side. Why would you're out at a bar having a good time. Why would you put some terrible thing on the sign that you're going to put up for your bottle service?
I think we've just lost the thread with like the backlash to, I mean, we were so quote unquote woke for so long. And then there was this like vibe shift and nobody's woke anymore. But then it's like, when you just keep going down that path, you're trying to be funny, I guess. You're trying to be edgy. You think you're cute, but you just end up saying hateful, horrible things that there's no excuse for it. There's nothing funny about it. There's nothing redeeming about it. You're just being a hateful piece of you-know-what.
I think that one of the unfortunate things, and I am the farthest thing away from a bro, I mean, in age and in personality, but it seems that there's an unfortunate thing that I hear about, like with Phoebe's peers with the guys, that they so celebrate the bro culture. And they so celebrate freedom of speech and MAGA and Donald Trump and the whole thing that it's a badge of honor to use your free speech in very edgy ways.
Yeah.
But there's edgy and then there's just
also
really wrong.
I do think this is a big TikTok thing, and I don't think it's 100%. But one of the things, when the generation wars that are always going on there, I think there's one thing that older generations make a good point of is that when you and I grew up, Dave, if you did something or said something stupid, you're probably getting punched in the face. And that's not really true anymore, which is kind of a good thing. But then there are people that don't learn how to not cross lines you shouldn't cross.
Yeah, we could solve a lot of things if we brought face punching back.
Your biggest choice in home restoration is, who do you trust with your home, your most valued asset? Few can match Banner Construction's experience and dedication to excellence. Banner is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor and Pella window specialist. Restoration is a one-time opportunity to have Banner's design team show you architectural options to make your home the neighborhood showcase. Call for a free consultation, 314-569-1050, and have a banner day.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Dial # law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
The following heartwarming yet informative scene is brought to you by Trust and Will.
Son, your grandpa and I used to work on this car together, and when I'm gone, I want you to have it.
Wow. Thanks, Dad.
Doesn't count. What you need is a will. Luckily, Trust and Will makes it easy. Designed by attorneys, but customized by you, you can easily create a state-specific, legally valid document that actually counts. Now, let's let the engine do the talking, am I right? Start your will at trustandwill.com. Use offer code COUNT for 20% off and make it count. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. For details, see trustandwill.com.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
So if divorce is a part of your life, I'm very sorry. Been there and used to be a divorce attorney, and said it before, I hate things like divorce parties and XYZ the same way I hate when people do stupid poses with guns, because it's a serious thing. It's a sad thing. It could be the best thing. It could be the right thing, but it's still something I think that should be treated with great respect. Call Susan L. Ward. And the second best advice I can give you is to call another good divorce attorney. Talk to your buddies, talk to your priest, talk to your pastor, meditate, pray, do anything you want to do. But make sure before you make any big decisions, you talk to Susan L. Ward so that she can give you real answers. She's been doing this for decades. If you write down your top 5-10 questions, about money and custody and all this kinds of stuff, she'll give you real answers. She's not a wizard. She doesn't have a crystal ball. But it'll be a little vague, but it will be very specific and quite accurate. 314-783-9400, stlfamilylaw.com.
Farming's hard. To feed the world, farmers have to work the land, brave the elements, and fight the battle against weeds. Weeds reduce crop yields, so prices go up and everybody gets less to eat. But 50 years ago, farmers got a new tool to fight weeds, glyphosate. It kills weeds while protecting the harvest. Time and again, it has been approved by the EPA and by leading regulatory bodies around the world. It helps enable practices that reduce erosion and keep soil healthy, which is good for the earth. Farming's hard, but it's a little easier with glyphosate. Learn more at go.bayer.com/glyphosate. Paid for by Bayer.
Spring into a new home with amazing savings at TR Hughes. Hi, I'm Jason Hughes with TR Hughes Homes, and we are currently offering half off up to $40,000 in options and up to $5,000 in closing costs on brand new to-be-built homes at select TR Hughes communities. That's right, half up to $40,000 in options and up to $5,000 in closing costs. Visit trhughes.com for details.
The choice of a home builder is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
However, you really should visit trhughes.com.
Welcome back, DGS on KMOX. Happy gloomy Monday to you. Going to break out of this tomorrow. In fact, it appears to be lightening up a little bit looking outside the KMOX window, but tomorrow's supposed to be sunny and 75, which we really need some of that. Glad it hasn't been 95, but it's been a little dank.
I mean, but April sucked. So much rain.
Yes.
I mean, it's good for, if you're growing gardens or your grass looks good right now, but it's a pain in the ass.
So tonight's the Met Gala.
That's what they're saying.
I hate that thing.
It's
I feel suckered every year. Like I react to it and I feel stupid for reacting to it, because obviously you're going to react to it because it's like the biggest stars in the world dressed like the Fifth Element, and it's just weird and bizarre and over the top and exclusive, and
it's like we're just like you except on gala night, and then we're not like you because you're not rich.
Yeah, it just feels like the ultimate like rich people rubbing your face in their lifestyle.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I'm supposed to like care about the different looks and like,
right.
Oh, she looked amazing. Like, no, this is stupid. Especially in a post-COVID world. Like, it's just so hard to care about stuff like that anymore.
Yeah. And I don't mind award shows for recognition of work of people's talents. Like, that's one thing. But again, do you have to go over the top? Do we have to be spending tens of thousands of dollars on outfits and $100,000 on the jewelry that we're going to wear? Do we have to do that?
It's very Hunger Games.
Yes.
It's just, I mean, it's always been that way. It's always been a thing, right? Where, the famous people have to show how famous and fancy they are. But I don't know. I don't know why we all have a taste for it. Like, that's the part I don't get. I get why they do it, because they're having fun, because they don't care. They got money.
I think it's just one of those strange dances where they love it for obvious reasons, because they do feel superior to us, clearly. And we hate it for obvious reasons, and we complain about it every year, and it probably makes their day.
Yeah, and I don't understand why any of us care, though. Like, why does anybody watch it? Why does anybody pay attention to it? Why does anybody fanboy over it? Like, what? I don't understand. I mean, I get why people are fans of talent, acting, musicians, sports. I get why you're a fan of talent because it's a talent. But why would you just watch people just flaunting? I've never understood that whole, that's one of the reasons I don't understand the whole Kardashian fandom. Like, I don't understand why it's like, oh, let's watch the lives of people that are super rich. All they're doing is, I mean, again, you're rich, do your thing, but it's just a little over the top when you're going to be like,
especially when it's all just money. Well, it's like someone could put a $200,000 giant bird costume on me, and I could walk in there. You know?
Well, the worst part about the Met Gala to me is it's allegedly a charity event,
right?
But you're spending more money on the show than you're going to raise for that cause, and that's a cause that's supported by wealthy people. How about some of that money gets spent on something else that could actually use it? There are all kinds of people that could use help, but nope, we're going to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on outfits.
Where does the money go?
I don't know. The Met Gallery. It's something. It's honest to God, I think it's a costume. Like, I want to look this up because I looked it up a little bit ago, and it's a fundraiser for, I want to say here you go. It benefits the Metropolitan Museum of Art's Costume Institute in Manhattan.
That's pretty stupid.
I don't know what that does. I don't know if they do things for like performers around the country that don't have any money for costumes. Like, yes, I don't understand.
Call it something stupid.
Yeah, I don't know what that does, but I also know that the money that's being spent on the outfits and stuff themselves is not what's being donated.
Yeah.
There could be much better use. If you've got that money and you can afford to spend $100,000 on jewelry, maybe that would be useful to someone else in some other way. Some other charity could put that to use.
Yeah. Tell you guys about Triton Exteriors. Whether it is repairs, you have a bad storm blow through and you have hail on your roof or straight line winds that blows off some of your siding, which, by the way, would not happen if you had James Hardy and Smart Siding. You never have to worry about that again. No wind is going to displace any of that. But if you don't, and if it does, you can call Triton Exteriors. Always call them before you call your insurance company, because there are ways that even if you don't put in a claim, it ends up hurting you and costing you money, and it ends up looking like a claim with your insurance company. So always call Triton or someone like that who you can trust. Maybe it's elective. You just need to do a new roof or siding or gutters or fences. My best sell to you guys is we're always the middle bid. You don't want the lowest bid, because when it comes to exterior companies, they will cut corners and you'll end up with not a good roof or not a good fence, and you'll be really wishing you'd spend a little more money. And we're never going to be the top bid because we don't take advantage of you. And unfortunately, there are several companies in town whose name you would know, who are in the business, it seems these days, of just taking advantage of people and adding 20-30% on the top. 314-717-1159, triton-stl.com.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing: IRS problems. And we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
At University of Maryland Global Campus, we give our students credit where credit is due. Credit for deciding in the middle of rush hour traffic to go back and get their bachelor's and a promotion. Credit for managing 3 kids, 2 dogs, and a full-time job to pursue an MBA. And credit for serving in the military by day so they can study cybersecurity at night. For over 75 years, we've been helping students receive the credit they deserve. With more than 135 degrees and certificates, students at UMGC can use prior learning or relevant experience to earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's, and graduate students can transfer up to 12 credits toward their master's. At UMGC, you'll find everything from online to hybrid courses and lifetime career services to scholarship opportunities, making your education journey flexible, fast, and affordable. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start May 14th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this important announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-384-7878, 800-384-7878, 800-384-7878.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
At 2 o'clock, it's a cloudy sky, 58 degrees downtown at the Arch. Small businesses in Brentwood are in court today to stop the city from taking their properties through eminent domain. The city calls the area blighted, but owners say their buildings are in good condition. Anthony and Martin George own the building Feathercraft Fly Fishing has leased for 40 years. The brothers say the only issue the city has ever had with their property is when the grass got too high once.
Sure, they need a little work and maintenance, but I wonder what the code enforcement has done in the area, because we haven't received anything. We've kept our property up to date, but the other properties, we can't speak for every.
As a side note about the piece of grass infringement code that we once had, it was quite comical because across the street, the weeds were twice as high.
The Georges teamed up with the Institute for Justice to challenge what they call an unlawful attempt to hand private property over to developers. Trump border czar Tom Homan was asked outside the White House by reporters about the president's comments on reopening the long-closed prison Alcatraz.
I think it's certainly an option, especially for the significant public safety threats, national security threats. Should be on the table.
The St. Louis Fire Department has released the name of the off-duty firefighter who died over the weekend in a two-car collision. Corey McBride was a veteran firefighter serving in the fire department for 2 decades. The department says, "We are deeply grateful for his many years of selfless service and dedication to our community. Funeral arrangements are pending." St. Louis City Budget Director Paul Payne calls the upcoming fiscal year proposal close to a recession budget without quite being one. What does that mean?
Payne says the city is expecting to grow its revenue in the next fiscal year, but only barely based on recent trends.
The underlying growth, which might typically be 2.5% or more, got it back down to, on the earnings section, 1.5%. And the payroll tax, which is only up less than 1 this year, I've got it at 0.75 points.
According to Payne, he says they have seen a decline in sales tax revenue over the last 3 months and expects that to continue next year. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
What do we need to know now that a measles case has been confirmed in a visitor from out of state who was at the St. Louis Aquarium during the afternoon on Wednesday, April 30th, and then at a local restaurant?
First, doctors say we need to be aware of how contagious the measles infection really is.
If you have not been vaccinated and you are exposed to measles, you are almost 100% likely to get measles infection. And really your best protection against measles is to be vaccinated.
CBS News medical contributor Dr. Celine Gounder. Health officials say unvaccinated or immunocompromised people who were at the aquarium last Wednesday afternoon, April 30th, should consider getting post-exposure treatment by Tuesday. People exposed should watch for symptoms like fever, cough, runny nose, and red, watery eyes for 21 days. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
The KMOX Business Desk, Washington, D.C. will host the 2027 NFL Draft.
The plan is for the draft to be held on the National Mall with the Washington Monument, the U.S. Capitol, and other landmarks as the backdrop.
The draft is a celebration of one of our country's most cherished cultural institutions, and
the annual highlights for football fans everywhere.
Washington Mayor Muriel Bowser, who's been at odds with Trump on a number of issues, was with the president when he made the announcement.
Americans from all 50 states will come to their nation's capital and enjoy our beautiful city.
Christopher Cruz, CBS News, Washington.
The Dow from Stifel up 50 points to 41,367.
Still a little bit on the cool side as we go through our Monday afternoon with a mix of clouds and sunshine. Any showers should stay to our south. 64 for the high. We drop into the 50s quickly this evening. Partly cloudy skies. It's chilly overnight. 46 Tuesday. Sunshine. Beautiful day on Tuesday after a chilly start. Nice afternoon. 73, but the clouds come back Tuesday night. Wednesday clouds with periods of rain showers. I don't see any thunderstorms, but showers, and 68. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Sponsored by FanDuel Sports Network. With more ways to watch the Cardinals this season, Cardinals fans new this season, you can subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network and stream the Cardinals. And right now, new subscribers can get a 30-day free trial with the code CARDS30DAY. Visit FanDuelSportsNetwork.com to sign up. Right now, we've got some clouds. It is 58 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Welcome back. DGS, a few minutes past 2 p.m. Going to check in with our friend Dr. Tiffany Osborne. Been a while since we talked to the doc. Hello, Tiffany. How are you?
I'm doing okay. How are you doing?
Doing well. Nice to talk to you. Hope everything is well with the family. So let's talk about measles. As I understand it, there are now hundreds of cases across the country. There was just a case in St. Louis over the weekend. Someone who was at the aquarium at Union Station was positive for measles. So just tell us all about it, who's getting it and who's in danger.
Sure. So first of all, how many cases have we had? We know that there's been around 935 confirmed cases in about 30 jurisdictions in the United States. Over 80% of that, around 85% is in Southwest United States, and in Texas alone, over 600 cases have been documented. But we've also got in places closer to us, Oklahoma, Kansas, and Illinois. So there definitely are measles. Make sure you know where you're going, whether or not you have the potential to be exposed. As far as what do you see clinically, how do I know if I have it, or how do I know if my kid has it? Initial symptoms include fever, cough, runny nose, red, itchy eyes. Sometimes you can get some white spots in your mouth. And typically the fever, the runny nose, and the itchy eyes, that all occurs before you get the rash. So the rash usually appears somewhere between 2 and 4 days after the fever starts. And the rash typically starts in the head and the face, and then it starts to work down the body, and then it sort of fans out to the extremities. How long do the symptoms last? So it depends, but you can start feeling a little bit better at 48 hours after the rash starts, but it can take 1 to 2 weeks to recover. And that's different if your immune system is compromised at all, or if, basically if your immune system's compromised. And there are complications. So what are the complications? In about 1 out of every 20 cases, you can get pneumonia. In about 1 out of every 1,000 cases, you can get encephalitis, which is sort of infection of the meninges of the brain. And in about 1 in 1,000 cases, unfortunately, death can be a potential issue.
Doc, how about people like me I'm 60 years old, so I was in the first round of people getting inoculated. I have understood that maybe it's worn off, or maybe I should get a second dose.
Yeah, it's a really good question. So around 1967 or so is when we started to use live virus in the vaccine, live attenuated. If it was before that, then you have an increased risk of needing to be revaccinated. So for me, I was supposed to get 2 vaccines when I was a kid. One of them it's questionable as if it would have been the right vaccine. The second one would have been the right vaccine. So I'm getting another shot.
Is there anything especially difficult about the shot? Just so people know, I know like shingles sometimes can make you sick. Is there anything like the measles?
So in general, no. In general, it's pretty benign vaccination.
And do you just go to Walgreens or CVS and say, hey, I need this, give it to me? Or do you need to go and get a doctor's order?
No, you can just go to Walgreens or CVS, or like some people have occupational health at their institutions. They can probably get it there. I'm checking out like what you were talking about, general pharmacies.
Yeah. How about people who aren't my age? You know, everything from kids up to like Wheeler's age at 52. Are they pretty safe?
Yeah, as long as they've been vaccinated, then they're pretty safe.
Okay. Any other questions before we let the doc go? Okay. Thank you, Doc. We appreciate it. We'll see you soon.
Can I give you just a couple? Can I give you just a couple more bits of information?
Of course.
So, yeah, one of them is how contagious is it? I heard that y'all were talking about that a little bit, and it is pretty contagious. It's primarily transmitted through airborne droplets, and if there's somebody who has a measles infection in a room, depending upon the ventilation of the room, you can still be infected up to 2 hours after that person has left. So it's very, very contagious. And then I've been hearing I got a lot of questions about vitamin A. People are basically saying, I don't have to get vaccinated. I'll just give my kid vitamin A. Vitamin A does have a place in measles. I mean, the World Health Organization and the American Academy of Pediatrics does recommend vitamin A supplementation in kids who get measles, especially if they're at risk for vitamin A deficiency. But it does not mean that it keeps you from getting measles. So it's only protective if you weren't vaccinated, and there's nothing that is protective as getting the vaccine itself.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Doc. Appreciate it.
All right, bye.
I have an email from a listener looking for a ruling, and it's a really interesting one. And it comes from the mom, but it's for both the mom and the dad. And the mom and the dad both dislike their daughter's boyfriend. And they're very careful to point out in the email that they don't think that this young man is dangerous. They don't think that he's a bad person. They just don't like him. So he's been around for a couple of years. It's looking like they're going to stay together and get engaged and get married. And this couple was just saying, like, what do you think? What does your listenership think? Do we have a right to say something to our daughter? Do we have an obligation to say something to our daughter so that in 10 years from now, she's not like, why didn't someone say something? What do you guys think?
And
how long did they say?
A couple years they've been dating.
So he's never done anything wrong. They just don't like him.
They just dislike him. They don't like him as a person. But to their knowledge, he's never done anything aggressive or controlling or violent in any way.
Well, I mean, first of all, if you're
they just wish she would have picked a different person.
If you're just now thinking about a conversation, what have you been waiting for? I mean, I think it's too late by now. Not to say that you should never say anything. I mean, when you talk to your kids, you do talk to them, but it's also about how you talk to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sure I would go to my daughter and be like, yeah, your boyfriend's an idiot. Why are you with him? Or we don't like him. Like, maybe there should have just been a gradual, small level conversation going back to the time you realized you didn't like the guy.
Just tubing.
Where it's just a little bit of like, little bit here, ask a question here, a little bit there. As opposed to now it's built up to a thing and it might be a really big thing. And you could also ruin the relationship with your kid if you just come out and say the person you care about the most. Yeah, we don't like that person.
You do have to be ready for your kid to take sides against you.
I mean,
that's the way life works.
But it's also, and again, I know it's Monday morning quarterbacking and maybe those things did happen, but it's much easier to learn more over time than it is to be like, well, boy, this is built to a head. What should we say something? I'm not sure it's going to do you any good, but if you can find a way to have a conversation that doesn't come out just flat out saying we don't like this guy you've been with for 2 years. I don't know how you approach that conversation without potentially risking the relationship with your kid.
You agree, Rich?
Yeah, I think it's tough because there's no actual red flags. I think if there's something actually going wrong, then you should speak up as soon as you can. And then it's up to your daughter on whatever choices she wants to make from there. I'm a little torn if it's like, hey, yeah, we just don't really dig his personality. Well, you're not the one who's married to him. You're not the one who spends all the time with him. So it feels a little selfish in a sense to be like, hey, he's just not our vibe.
I bet this happens all the time.
Oh, yeah.
All the time.
I'm sure it happens a lot. And it's not, I would think it's not really the end of the world because unless you're all living under the same roof, you don't have to spend every moment with this other person.
Yeah, they were just saying how they dread a lifetime of dreading him.
Yeah.
But if he's not done anything, what is it you don't like about him?
Yeah, that's where it comes back down to like, they just don't like his personality, I guess. And that feels a little selfish to be like, yeah, I know you're happy with this person, but I'm not happy with that person. So let me speak up and say something.
I remember them saying that he tried to control everything in the conversations and he was a know-it-all.
Okay.
So it sounds like annoying.
Yeah, I mean, I can get that. But is that enough? Is someone being a know-it-all enough for you to have that big of a concern when the person you raised has been with this person for 2 years
and the chances
and
of going,
seems to think that's okay?
The chances of going, honey, we need to talk about Bob. And then the daughter goes, oh, thank God, because I've been having these same thoughts. So
I was going to say,
pretty small.
I think the odds are low of that. The other thing you have to keep in mind is, like, if just using my scenario, in my life, if my parents had done that to me with Susan when we were engaged or before, number one, I'm absolutely telling Susan that conversation happened because I'm not going to hide anything from the person I'm planning on spending my life with. And also, you probably put me in a position where I don't know what I want to be around you very much because I don't get what you don't get. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's hard because if it's a different thing. If you like, this guy gets aggressive or we're worried that maybe he's bullying her or we're worried about he's doing drugs. I mean, like, there are warning signs where you need to say something.
How much different is it, if at all, if it's a friend as opposed to you're the parents?
Oh, I think friends are much more in the clear depending on the relationship with your friend. But I can tell you, like, just put yourself in that position. You don't see any red flags in a person. You really like that person. You've been with them for 2 years, and there's nothing in their personality that makes you go, man, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Because if you had that, the person you're probably going to confide that in is your friend, your best friend, most likely, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know many people that would have concerns about a significant other that wouldn't voice that to someone, if not a parent. Because, again, every relationship is different with parents and kids and best friends, but I can't believe you wouldn't run it by someone. But I guess, I don't know, mate, what do you got? I mean, does that strike? Because it strikes me as people do talk to the people that they're closest to and that they're the most comfortable talking about certain subjects with.
Yeah, I'm drawing most of my experience from being the kid who had a girlfriend. And I'm not saying that my parents didn't like my girlfriends, but like, I think it would have gone badly. Because even if you're wrong, there's a whole lot of that going around too. Like, you just made a bad decision on this person. You're probably not going to see the light. And then it's just going to cost you your relationship with your child.
Yeah.
And maybe never come back.
And it's a pretty significant risk, right? I mean, again, it may not be the end of it, but it certainly changes it for at least a period of time. So if I were just...
Especially they tattle like you.
It's harder, but it's harder to know, not knowing anybody involved, what their dynamic is. Only you know your relationship with your kid. Right. And only you will know how they will receive that conversation. I don't know your kid. I don't know you. So if you have that kind of close relationship and that you think you can bring that up in a way where it's not going to cause a problem, that's a different thing than, boy, I don't know how they're going to react if I bring this up.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know, that's a pretty big risk.
Let me tell you guys about Ophthalmology Associates and the Cornea and Laser Vision Institute. Each time, of course, I talk about my doctor, Dr. Birdie, Dr. Malhotra, Dr. Brusati, and Royer. They are the doctor's doctors. They are called that for a very good reason, because about 250 local and regional medical doctors come to us for their eye care. Again, I always point out that it's not that they are superior to us. It's just that they're doctors. And, people's lives are in their hands and their eyesight is critical. They could go anywhere and pay any price because they're doctors, but they come to us because they know that we're the best. So for the same money, you can go to a doc in the box who is not an ophthalmologist. They're not a medical doctor. Or you can come see us and get the very best comprehensive eye exam possible. And if there's anything sinister to find, we're going to find it. If you are interested in the LASIK procedure, or if you think you may have cataracts, we are the place to come to. 314-966-5000 or youridoc.com.
You know how you always want to know about everyone else's money? On the podcast, What We Spend, guests will, for 1 week, tell us everything they spend their money on.
My son slammed $6 worth of blueberries in 5 minutes.
And everything that makes them feel.
I want to own a house. I want to have a child. But this morning, I really wanted a coffee.
Because at the end of the day, money is always about more than your balance. Listen to and follow What We Spend, an Odyssey original podcast. Available now wherever you get your podcasts.
Trust and Will knows that we'll all eventually need a will. How about right now? Trust and Will makes creating your will easy, like while you're lounging on the couch easy. Trust and Will is designed by attorneys but customized by you, and all documents are state-specific and secure. Find your plan at trustandwill.com and use offer code RADIO now for 20% off. That's trustandwill.com, offer code RADIO. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. Visit trustandwill.com for details.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Your garage door is the largest piece of moving equipment in your home. When it needs help, call the experts at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Their certified technicians repair all brands of doors and openers, and you can even schedule evening and weekend service. Just call 314-781-5200 and always look for the red ribbon. It's your assurance you've got the genuine, the original Overhead Door, the most trusted garage door company in St. Louis since 1926. For same-day service, schedule online at overheaddoorstlouis.com. 314-781-5200.
Hey, it's Matt Pauley telling you about i3 Broadband. It might be time for you to go ahead and switch out your internet. It was amazing when the Pauley household brought in i3 Broadband. The speeds are so much faster. We're saving a few dollars. The service is fantastic. I never have to worry, a storm is coming in. I wonder if my internet's going to go out. They've got local service centers in St. Charles County and the Metro East. It is St. Louis people who are working for i3 Broadband. See if they're available in your neighborhood. Check them out, i3broadband.com.
Need a lawyer? Onder wins. Call Onder Law at 314-9-MILLION. That's 314-9 all zeros. Or go to onderwins.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
Check out the Terrace in Eureka for affordable senior living with 24-hour nursing supervision, delicious meals, medication management, and activities. The Terrace is affordable and will work with your Medicaid plan. Go to rspseniorliving.com and look for the Terrace Private Assisted Living.
The Chris and Amy Show, weekdays starting at 9 on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Welcome back, DG Ask 222. We have Bernie Miklasz coming up at the bottom of the hour. Sweet 16 coming up later on. So this Wednesday is the no kidding around real ID. You got to have that to fly domestically. Keep seeing warnings that if you don't have that, show up 3 hours early because you have to jump through a whole bunch of hoops. So I guess you can technically fly with a valid driver's license. It's not the real ID, but that's what you now need. That's the gold standard, which I got last month, and I heard just moments before this happened that if your license has been expired 6 months or less, you can get the real ID. But if not, you have to start all over again. And mine was 7. And the girl helping me out counted on her fingers in front of me and went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm waiting for the 7 and it never came. She's like, oh, you can get the real ID. I'm like, right on.
Nice.
But she was wrong.
Oh.
So
she was written up the next day.
even sweeter. She probably got fired. You guys all have
show
yours?
her to help Dave Glover.
Yep.
I've got mine.
I do. Here.
All right.
It's like I'm gonna show.
Oh,
you.
I'm. Rachel advised me not to show it on the stream.
Yeah, don't show it on the screen, buddy.
I'll show this part. Look at your little star.
That means he's special. He's got his real
Is that
ID.
a star?
Want to be grossed out? Roughly 4.5 trillion cigarette butts are littered every year, making them the most littered item on the planet.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Not shocked. And stop being gross.
Yeah, so gross.
What other habit can you get away with doing that?
Right. Right.
Yeah, I just finish my energy drink and throw the can on the ground like, it's somebody else's problem.
Mm-hmm. The bike from Pee Wee's Big Adventure just sold for $125,000.
It's like buying a banana for $1 million.
At least you can ride the bike.
There's that whimsy again.
Yeah.
Dee Wallace, the mom from E.T., said that originally there was a subplot where the alien had a sexual crush on her character.
Okay.
She said that she didn't think it was appropriate for a family film and even demanded that they soften a potentially risque scene. Yeah.
Okay.
What? Who? So the people who wrote that movie thought that was a good angle?
Mm-hmm.
It was the 80s.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I'd like
That's
to
a
hear-
really good point. It was
Has to
pretty,
be a love
It was
interest.
pretty
I'd
early
like to hear
80s
more about
too.
the scene.
It was early 80s enough to almost be 70s, which makes it fit.
Man, I haven't seen E.T. in forever. But I love that movie. I had it on VHS. I would
Ranji
watch
really
it all
made
the
me
time.
laugh. A few months ago, Chris and Amy were talking about E.T. for some reason. And Amy said, I find E.T. repulsive. And Ranji said, yeah, he looks like he's made of chewed food.
Kind of.
Yeah, I don't remember hating it when I was a kid, but I do remember hating it when I saw it another time when I was older.
Mm.
But
Again, the whimsy thing?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
There's no way they'd be able to fly on that bike.
Well, no, because he's alien. He might be able to do stuff. Anti-grav, you know.
Have you ever seen Mac and Me?
No.
It was kind of a ripoff
I
of
remember
E.T.
it. Yeah.
And like he's drinking cans of Coke the whole time and
So instead
also
of
eating
Reese's
at McDonald's. Yeah.
That's the best thing that came out of E.T. was a new candy.
I love that movie. Mac and Me is incredible.
I think she's thinking of me though when she's describing the
Drinking Coke and eating McDonald's.
monstrous creature who's just drinking cans of Coke and eating McDonald's all day.
Reese's Pieces were new with that movie?
I think they were new right before it, but that was kind of like a big
Coming out
publicity
party?
thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
I don't like it when people say Reese's Pieces.
I don't either.
That's not how you say it.
No.
Even though I do think
He's
I do
really
think it's
having
cute.
an effect on you.
Yeah.
Wheels?
Yeah, you're
Let's
becoming
go.
way more
Virtual fist bump.
authoritarian.
Let's go.
Your whimsy is
Hey, we're doing a
disappearing.
radio
David's
show. I'm
gonna
learning
wear
from
off
the
on
best
you
Like
too.
when
out
they
there.
say Reese's Pieces.
Yeah. It's not a Reese.
Just because I say that.
Yeah. Oh, you do?
Yeah, if they're pumpkin flavors.
Oh.
Oh, boy.
I love pumpkin. I can't get behind John Pumpkin. Pumpkin's the best.
Mm-mm.
Rachel's like, hate that too.
If you say pumpkin patch in your real life, like everybody around you is like,
Yikes.
Want to hear some things that
oh, so warm and
were
cuddly.
not sexy 20 years ago, but now they are?
E.T.?
Yes.
I'm starting with this one. Bald guys with beards.
There you go.
Hey, hey.
So 20 years ago, that wouldn't have been?
And,
Said it used to scream midlife crisis.
and who are they saying brought that into vogue?
Me.
Dave.
Yeah, is there anybody in particular who might have gone
Maybe
bald around
20
that
years ago
time?
burst onto the scene.
Lack of a tan. 20 years ago, you had to have a tan
Oh.
to
Well.
be
Sexy.
attractive.
No.
Eyebrows that aren't pencil thin.
Oh.
Boy, eyebrows have really.
I'm like losing out because I got no eyebrows. I'm pale.
Yeah, I wish my eyebrows were thicker, but I plucked them so much as a
Right,
teen because the thin ones were in, and now I'm.
And then I guess they don't grow back.
I mean, they grow back to an
Oh, they
extent,
grow
but
back.
they're a little sparse.
Gotcha.
Believe me, they grow back.
Dad bods.
That's in now?
Yes.
Sweet.
Very much so. Oh, you don't have a dad bod.
A lot of it.
What about morbid obesity? Where does that rank?
Sin.
Hey, my time has come.
Yeah. Going to therapy. Now attractive. Used to be a red flag.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say that really strikes true.
I still think it's a red flag. Yeah. It's like, why you got all these problems?
No, I think Dave. I mean, like,
when you can't just do it yourself. Come on now.
That was the old attitude. Was like, oh boy, if you think there's something wrong with you, why would I like you? But now it's more of a, no, that person is now like understanding how they want to be better. Like that's a good thing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's a lot about me.
Dave, you're all over that list.
I really am. Bald and crazy. Let me tell you guys about Michael's Baths. I feel like I need to send flowers to like Bath Fitter and 3-Day Kitchen and Bath because they do a lot of the heavy lifting here with Mike. But when I first met him, he goes, you know these companies? I said, yeah. He goes, that's what I do. But they are big national companies with national advertising budgets to pay for. And he is local and he is family owned and operated. He has about 8 crews that work for him. So if you use Mike, you are going to be keeping about 24 families in the money here locally. He's done nothing but bathroom remodeling for the past 30 years. He doesn't do kitchens. He doesn't do general contracting or roofs. He's just a bathroom guy. So he does a really great job, and it's usually 30 to 50% less than the aforementioned companies. If you're a disabled veteran, you can take advantage of a VA benefit, which you have earned through your service, that gives you that new bathroom for free. Mike does them every week. 636-775-0800 or michaelsbaths.com.
Hi, I'm Amy Mark Scores.
And I'm Chris Ranji. Look, we get it. The world seems insane right now. You're not alone.
Ranj and I are on different sides of the political spectrum, but we don't always talk politics anyway.
Yeah, we talk about what's going on in the world. We'll talk about the Cardinals and sports and TV and movies and whatever.
Life is more than politics. It's family and friends. And Chris and I were friends before this show. We're there for each other. We want to be here for you too.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX and the free Odyssey app.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. With thousands of 5-star reviews, you can trust us to bring happiness home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
It's time for Dave Murray's weather forecast, sponsored by Sachs Financial.
Still a little bit on the cool side as we go through our Monday afternoon with a mix of clouds and sunshine. Any showers should stay to our south. 64 for the high. We drop into the 50s quickly this evening. Partly cloudy skies. It's chilly overnight. 46 Tuesday. Sunshine. Beautiful day on Tuesday after a chilly start. Nice afternoon, 73, but the clouds come back Tuesday night. Wednesday, clouds with periods of rain showers. I don't see any thunderstorms, but showers, and 68. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Hey, it's Jeff at Sachs Financial. Over the last 15 years, we've been able to help our clients focus on the fundamentals and tune out the daily grind by putting a great retirement plan in place. If you don't have one, find out how to get started at retiresafestl.com.
Hey, it's Tom Ackerman, and I'm here to tell you that Underdog just became one of the best places to make entries during the basketball playoffs with their extender. You can play your way to increasingly bigger boosts each round of the playoffs. Start a playoff series by using your Game 1 boost and then just see what happens. Underdog is a leading place to make all of your sports selections. I love playing Underdog. It's one of the fastest growing sports game apps. All you do is download the app and choose whether a player will go higher or lower on one of their stats. It's that easy. You could turn $1 into $1,000 just with your basketball knowledge. Download the Underdog app and sign up with promo code TOM to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. That's promo code TOM. Must be 18 plus and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/extend.html for details. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com. Wednesday night, City SC begins U.S. Open Cup play as they face Omaha, Nebraska. And you can hear this game live. Pre-game 6:50, kick at 7. Wednesday night on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Our segment with Bernie is sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Dicon comfort dealer.
Welcome back, guys. DG asked time to talk to the great Bernie Miklasz. Bern, how was the weekend?
It was good. A lot of sports.
A lot of sports.
Some good, some really, really bad, but enjoyed it. Enjoyed all of it.
Yeah, let's start out with the Blues and the heartbreaking outcome last night. And how did we get there?
Well, they had 4 chances to win a game in Winnipeg, and based on my calculations, over the 4 games, the Blues either led or were tied like 60% of the time. According based on the game clock. So they had the lead or they were tied 60% of the time. They were in excellent position to win any of the 4. All they had to do is get one.
Mm-hmm.
But their problem is, once again, for the 4th time up there, they just completely abandoned the style of play that made them the best team in the regular season from February 1st till the end of the season, which is strong 5-on-5 play, relentless forechecking, getting in close range, harassing the goaltender, getting deflections, setting screens. They just they capitulated again, and I don't understand it. In this series, in the 4 games in Winnipeg, the Jets outscored the Blues 8-1 in the 3rd period and overtimes. I don't get it.
Now, what really struck me yesterday, because we can go over what happened at the end of the game in the second overtime, and a lot of that was tired guys on the ice got trapped in their own zone and they got beat that way. But the final 3 minutes of regulation, and really it was more than that, Bern. Wouldn't you agree? Like they went into the shell way too early and obviously put themselves in a position that they're not good at, which is that 6-on-5 with the goalie pull. They were terrible at it in the regular season. And that. And I just don't understand why teams in that position ever get away from what got them the 3-1 lead to begin with.
Yeah, I would say they went into the shell really early.
Yeah,
when they had the 3-1 lead going into the second period, they weren't as aggressive in the second period.
Yeah,
and then it really got ridiculous in the 3rd period, and I just don't get it. Because the Blues were able to redevelop their whole identity under Jim Montgomery, and we saw that identity on the games that they won in St. Louis against Winnipeg. We saw it. Heck, we saw it for a couple of months straight, but they get up to Winnipeg and all of a sudden they're not playing the style that got them into the playoffs. So I don't know. And also, let's be honest about something. Their top guys didn't show up in Winnipeg. If we're talking about even strength hockey.
Yeah.
Kyrou had 1 goal in 72 minutes. Buchnevich had 1 assist, no goals in 77 minutes. Robert Thomas in 78 minutes, even strength. 4 games in Winnipeg, had 1 assist. Shen, we love him. Braden Shen, we love him. But the 4 games in Winnipeg at even strength, he had no points in 75 minutes, and it goes right on down the line. And the goal and the defensemen who were on fire in the games of St. Louis, the defensemen didn't have any goals in the 4 games up there. So combination of things, but it doesn't reflect well on them. And they were a wonderful team. I love that team, but we got to be honest about why they're eliminated.
Yeah, I mean, when you are the top guys, look, again, we talked about it last week. What happens on the road is the other team gets the matchups they want. You're the top guys. You have to be able to beat that. I mean, if you're going to win in the playoffs, especially when you're going to be a lower seeded team, your top guys can't be completely shut down because the other team gets the matchup they want in 90% of the situations.
Well, that's exactly right. And there was a way to overcome that. We see teams overcome that all the time. And I don't understand it, but man, they led game 1, 2-1, and then 3-2. They were tied third period in the second game. They were tied and pretty early on, maybe early in the second period in the 5th game up there. And they had a 2-0 lead and then a 3-1 lead for most of the game. And how can you not win one of those games?
No, especially the one when you're up 3-1 with 3 minutes left and you're up 3-2 with 3 seconds left. I mean,
yeah. The other thing is, as Blues fans were reminding me, and I'm glad they did. The Blues have been awful when the other team pulls the extra attack, pulls the goalie, and puts the extra attacker. They've been awful. They've allowed 13 goals, including the 2 last night. How it wasn't fixed along the way?
Great question. I don't know, but I know no Blues fan wants to hear this part today because today sucks after losing a heartbreaker that you really should have won. I mean, again, you're winning 3-1 late. You're winning by a goal with 10 seconds left. That you have to win those games. That's just there's no excuse, no explaining it away. The bigger picture in a few weeks will set in, and the team has changed its course this year because 2.5 months ago they looked dead. 3 months ago, they looked dead. At the time of the coaching change, they looked dead and kind of directionless. And I think there's a clear direction right now, and it's a good one.
Well, no doubt about it. And one takeaway from the postseason, young guys like Snuggerud, Neighbors, Bolduc, Broberg. Well, Broberg was in the Stanley Cup Finals last year, but still, a lot of their younger guys were able to get valuable experience in the playoffs. So I think that's a good thing. I thought Bennington was great. I saw people online saying the Blues should trade him.
No.
Yeah. They when they go into their shell, all they do is set Bennington up to just get pelted over and over and over again with shots. And every goal that they scored last night went off somebody. He didn't do anything wrong.
So the Cardinals, once it stopped raining, had a good weekend, especially Victor Scott II.
Oof.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming. I'm talking about sweeping the Mets. Maybe I should have because they had just lost a series in Arizona before coming to St. Louis, so they're probably cooling down a little bit. But Victor Scott II is amazing. He had what a great game he had, or I should say 2 games he had. At the plate, in the field, stealing a 3-run homer from Juan Soto, the game-winning double basically in the first game. He was just all over the place, and he's an excellent defensive player too. Every part of his game has improved dramatically. He's light years ahead of where he was as a nervous rookie last year.
And look, the offense is clearly what gets a lot of attention. But if you just look at National League wins above replacement this season, Victor Scott is number 13 in the National League. So he is. I mean, again, the WAR's not perfect, but it's kind of.
Are you talking about is it baseball reference?
It's Fangraphs WAR. So Fangraphs WAR, he is. Let's see, he's tied for 13th with James Wood, Tommy Edman, Mookie Betts, guys like that. And the only guys ahead of him are Pete Alonso, Fernando Tatis Jr., Pete Crow Armstrong, Corbin Carroll, guys like that, Kyle Tucker. So, again, that's measuring all-around stuff, and it's not perfect. I'm not saying he's the 13th best player in the National League. I'm saying that he's having a massive impact because of his all-around game.
It's a reflection of his value.
Yeah.
Defense is above average, the hitting is above average, and the base running is above average. He checks every box.
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys, I'm so fascinated by the Memphis Express and who goes down and who comes up and how long they stay and all this kind of stuff. Obviously, every team does it. Do you feel like we're doing a good job of it, Bern?
I think they're doing the best they can. I mean, there's some limited choices. I can go on record saying I'm confused by why they would send McGreevy down. Not because I dislike Andre Palante. I like him a lot, but he's kind of gotten lost. He's gotten beat up really bad in his last 4 starts. And he's walking guys all over the place, and he's given up home runs. Like he's out of sync. And, Palante's young enough to where he can still go down and regroup and work on things. If you send him to Memphis and keep McGreevy up here for a while, it doesn't mean that Palante is going to spend the rest of the season in Memphis. He's got talent. He has that immensely high ground ball rate.
Yeah.
But right now, he is way, way, way out of sync. And the Cardinals always find a way to confuse me. I don't even know why I complain about it. So,
no, the stuff on Palante is a really good point, Bernie, because I know that this isn't perfect, but we know what we see, right? We're seeing a lot of runs. We're seeing a 4.75 ERA, right? We see that, and the teams will a lot of times point to, well, there's some stuff under the hood. There's some pitch characteristics that we like. But if you go to his StatCast page, it's all blue, and blue is bad. Red is good, blue is bad, and the only thing that's good is ground ball rate. but his expected numbers are actually worse than his actual numbers, which means he's actually been lucky to be where he is right now.
He's just been really bad, and I really, really like this guy.
I do too.
But, his last 4 starts, a 6.86 ERA. He's given up 4 home runs. He's walked more than he struck out. That is a pitcher that's got some underlying issues that he needs to tune up. He needs to recalibrate and fix.
Yeah.
I really don't understand what these people are thinking. There's no shame in sending Palante down. And McGreevy, every time they give him the ball, he doesn't just pitch well; he shines.
Man,
and I don't get it. I don't get it.
He could not have been thrown into a more difficult situation yesterday, especially for a guy who's a starting pitcher who doesn't come into the middle of games. They throw him into bases loaded, 1 out, and he gets out of it, and then he finishes with 5 shutout innings and only gives up 1 hit. I mean, like, starting pitchers are usually bad in those spots because they're not used to it, and he didn't even flinch.
No, and the Mets are a great offense. They can make the best pitchers look bad. They beat up on Sonny Gray Friday night. So
yeah.
I don't get it. And the other thing, and I don't want to take too long, so you tell me when it's time for me to shut up, and I'll be happy to do it. This runway thing. What I don't understand is if you have a guy in McGreevy who's doing everything you ask, and he's really, really good. And, oh, by the way, he was the better pitcher in spring training by far in what was supposed to be, quote, air quotes, a competition, which it obviously wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
If you're having a runway season, why would a runway qualifying pitcher like McGreevy, he was definitely a runway guy, why would he be blocked by another runway player who's not really all that established as a major league starter? Why would another runway player block him when you have 2 guys who are runway pitchers? One's pitching great, the other one's getting beat up. Explain the psychology there. I don't understand it.
Yeah, the only explanation, Bern, is there's trust because of last year. Because he was good for half of last year. Palante was. That's the only explanation, and I agree with you. There were worries about Palante in spring training with velocity being down and he wasn't pitching well. And this year is this year. Last year was last year, just like Ryan Fernandez. We all like Ryan Fernandez. We think he's good. We think he's going to be a part of this team, but he's not good enough in the moment to be here.
Right. And I know what a lot of fans are saying. Well, they're still, you got to get rid of Fetty. You got to get rid of this guy. You got to get it. Listen, no one's really disagreeing with you, but they're not going to do that. So it's sad that they have to come. It comes down to between the choice between Palante and our guy McGreevy. The choice should be, a broader choice instead of picking one or the other of those guys. But if you really care about Palante, if you really care about his development, why don't you let him regroup? Remember how long they stayed with Ryan Fernandez to see that kid just get beat up time and time and time again before they finally stopped the fight and sent him to Memphis? I don't understand this.
Bern, tell us about Saliga before we let you go.
I'm very happy to do so. Thank you. Saliga Heating and Cooling is wonderful, wonderful place as far as heating and cooling, and they're represented by Dicon Heating and Air Conditioning dealer, and that great equipment that they have. And listen, the Miklas family's been calling Saliga for about 17 years, and they've been perfect. I really mean that. Perfect. They show up when they say they're going to show up. They don't try to upsell. They don't try to hustle you. They don't try to talk you into something you don't need. In fact, in our experience, multiple times, they have suggested less expensive alternatives when we've had an issue. So they have saved us money. And we're members of the Priority Club at Saliga Heating and Cooling. And that is a maintenance plan. And you will save, there are so many benefits to a maintenance program, like preventative maintenance. And we have learned that. In fact, the last time they were out here with it less than 2 weeks ago on a routine maintenance program check, and they found a little thing that they took care of instead of it becoming a really big and expensive thing. There was nothing to worry about. That's the benefit of being in a great maintenance plan that will save you money long term. So they do it all. And of course, they family owned and operated since 1927, still offering free estimates and financing options, still have the best and most trustworthy customer service in St. Louis. If you want to find out more, please go to SaligaHeatingandCooling.com, SaligaHeatingandCooling.com. Thank you.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Why should you hire America's largest injury law firm for your case? There's lots of reasons. Just like there's a reason millions of people called us last year in their time of need. When it comes to fighting for justice and compensation, millions of people across the country trust us to go to battle for them. We became the largest injury law firm in the world for a reason. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
So BioBalance Health exists for really one reason, if you really break it all down, and that is to help people to look better, to look younger, to look healthier, to look more attractive, and to feel all of those ways as well. So the skin side can make you feel great about the way you look, if that makes sense. But it's more like just, we're going to do this for your face, Botox or chemical peels or filler, whatever you happen to pick, and whatever Dana, the injector, thinks is going to give you what you're looking for. But then on the pellet side, which is right next door, and I do both. Most people do both. For men, every 6 months. For ladies, every 5 months. You go in, you get your pellets. I typically am feeling a little bit like having legs, as Wheeler always says, by the time my pellets are running out, but nothing terrible. It doesn't fall off the table. And then once you get them, within a couple of weeks, you start feeling brighter and everything's kind of coming back. It's like de-aging 10 to 20 years. For everyone, it's different. Maybe you're starting out in a better or more compromised place. So maybe it's going to hit you like gangbusters, or, just kind of keep you where you want to be. For all things Dr. Moppin, go to biobalancehealth.com.
The U.S. Air Force Band of Mid-America is bringing you free concerts May 16th through the 19th, showcasing patriotic music, classical, pop tunes, and more. Get free tickets and locations at afbandtix.org. That's afbandtix.org.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-969-0686 and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-969-0686. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-969-0686 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-969-0686.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Jerry Adler had their kitchen remodeled by 3-Day Kitchen and Bath and talks about the experience.
If we had only met Darren when we started doing this construction, I would have been a lot happier girl than I am now. My husband, when he heard the 3-Day Kitchen and Bath would be in 3 days and out in 3 days, did not believe me.
Did he change his mind?
When he saw that 3-Day Kitchen and Bath came in and was gone in 3 days, he found that that was the best experience we have had. Darren worked with us on our budget so that we could have the kitchen we needed without feeling like we were completely out of our league. They were professional, cared about the other part of the house. The work is beautiful. I wanted to give them the biggest hug ever.
Top quality materials and workmanship. 3-Day Kitchen and Bath. On the web at 3daykitchen.com.
.252 DGS. New survey says that most Americans don't know when or how to wash their hands.
When they're dirty?
How?
Did we just go through this in COVID?
Yes.
Warm water.
Think we would know.
Was it like at least 20 seconds or 30 seconds? I mean, we literally just went through this.
Sing happy birthday.
Remember the guy who did the videos where he had like the surgical gloves on and he used blue dye to show you how you can clean like every inch of it the correct way?
I don't remember that guy.
Yeah, he had the white surgical gloves, and he used blue dye, and he showed you the technique that surgeons use to make sure that you don't miss any spots.
Yeah.
I just remember Hugh Jackman tried to do a hand washing video, and he kept doing it wrong over and over again.
Because he's got those long Wolverine claws.
Right. They were getting in the way. I'm still a little confused over we don't know how to wash our hands. I mean,
I think we
what
don't
do you
do
mean?
it long enough. We don't do it with. I don't know. I think.
I definitely think that we all go fast.
Yeah, but I mean, a 10-second hand washing is better than 0.
Yes,
I agree with that.
Yes, and
get a lot done.
And it's only. I mean, like if you. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I do the 20 seconds, but. This does not seem like it's complicated enough for people to not know since we just went through this in a pandemic.
So that 80% of infectious disease is spread by the hands.
Yeah. We're dirty animals.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, we use our hands for everything, so.
This is true.
It's kind of like, well, going to happen that way.
Man, I rub my eyes a lot. And I'm
Yeah,
always
me
like,
too.
one of these days, something bad's going to get in there.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I got to stop doing that. I always hear too about like these horror stories of people who shower in their contacts, which I do every day. But then water will get behind the contacts and then they eventually go blind. It's like, oh, I know.
Damn.
Scary. That with the eye rubbing, I'm in for a world
You're
of
asking
pain.
for it.
Yeah.
You're essentially blind now. I saw a pair of people. One was born without sight, and the other lost their sight in their 20s. And they're talking about the differences and like how they dream. And it was really fascinating. And the guy who has never had sight, of course, just dreams and smells and sounds. Is that weird?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess it's not weird because it would be weird if they actually saw things.
Yeah, because your brain doesn't have that feedback, right?
I still don't know how Helen Keller did it.
It's amazing.
The whole like water pump story,
Yeah.
I don't necessarily buy that. I'm not saying Helen Keller didn't exist. I'm not saying she couldn't overcome all
Here
of
we
those
go.
things. But the whole thing is,
I'm
it's like
saying it.
she traced out water while the water was running and then it clicked. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
It's a big breakthrough.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, that's a W. Like, I don't know. I
And
don't
then the
think
next person, like, did they just pick it up right away? Because you'd think it would just be almost impossible for every single person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I find it rather unbelievable.
Just the whole thing?
The whole thing. And then they went on their little like comedy
Making a
tour.
statement.
I don't know if it was a comedy tour.
It was a comedy tour. They
Man.
they had a comedy show.
My guy's a
Helen
truther over
Keller?
here.
Yeah, Helen Keller and her handler had like a traveling comedy
handler.
tour. I'm 100% serious.
Her name
Look it
was
up.
Annie Sullivan. And I don't think she was a comedian.
Look it up.
Your biggest choice in home restoration is who do you trust with your home, your most valued asset? Few can match Banner Construction's experience and dedication to excellence. Banner is an elite preferred James Hardy contractor and Pella window specialist. Restoration is a one-time opportunity to have Banner's design team show you architectural options to make your home the neighborhood showcase. Call for a free consultation, 314-569-1050, and have a Banner day.
Bluetail Medical Group is a pioneer in regenerative orthopedics. As joints break down over time, we lose our mobility and a life without pain. Surgery is not the only option. Dr. Matt Bays, David Crane, and Chris Wolf can use your own body's healing power to regrow soft tissue. No surgery, no long recovery times, and no drug dependence. Patients walk out of the office and resume full activity in a few days. Reclaim your joint health by calling Bluetail Medical Group at 636-778-2900 or visit bluetailmedicalgroup.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this important announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free. with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit. 800-384-7878. 800-384-7878. 800-384-7878.
Tell you guys about my friends over at First Missouri Credit Union. Everything at First Missouri is better than everything at a bank. Okay. Now, maybe I'm being a hypocrite because I have money in a bank I've been with for 30 years since I was a lawyer. No plans on, quitting there or moving it around, but I did open 2 accounts, going to be 3 soon, at First Missouri. And I have to tell you that the way they treat me is far superior to the bank. Just the friendliness, the access, the yes, Mr. Glover, come right in, please have a seat. Let's get this estate account set up for your mom. When you borrow money, they charge you less interest. When you invest, like putting money into a checking account or a savings account, they pay you more. We pay 4.27% on your checking up to $100,000. A bank just the other day, I forget which one it was, or I would name them, I don't mind that because they were advertising it, are paying 4.08% on a certificate of deposit. So we're better, we're nicer, and we pay better interest rates on both ends. Call the number 1-314-544-5050 or the number 1 stmocu.org.
Meet me at the Muni in Forest Park.
Join the magic this summer at the Muni. Season 107 begins June 16th with Bring It On, the musical, followed by Come From Away, Disney's Frozen, Evita, Dear Evan Hansen, La Cage aux Folles, and Jersey Boys. See all 7 Broadway hits for as low as $126. For tickets, visit muni.org.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. I am quite aware of the dangers being on the road. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. These families' lives will be changed in an instant. We fight for these families as if they were our own. We've become America's largest injury law firm by winning cases just like these. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Injured? Dial #law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
At 3 o'clock, it's a cloudy sky, 59 degrees downtown at the Arch. Some Brentwood business owners are in court to sue the city to stop them from using eminent domain.
At the heart of the case, small family-owned businesses like Feathercraft Fly Fishing, which has operated in the same location for 40 years. Martin George and his brother Anthony own the building, inherited from their dad. He says the city of Brentwood labeled the area as blighted to justify a redevelopment.
And encountered with a city who is pretty brazen and trying to use a definition of blight that clearly doesn't meet the definition of blight.
The Georges say they were never cited for disrepair, although they did have a high grass one time, and Brentwood slapped them for that, but they took care of it right away. In Clayton, Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
A case of the measles confirmed in the St. Louis area last Wednesday has doctors offering advice to those who are concerned about picking up the highly contagious illness.
An out-of-town visitor who had the measles was at the St. Louis Aquarium on the afternoon of Wednesday, April 30th, and then went to a local restaurant. Measles spreads easily, infecting more than 9 out of 10 unvaccinated people exposed to it. CBS News medical contributor Dr. Celine Gounder.
There's this misconception that measles is the common cold. It's just a fever and runny nose. It can actually be much more severe than that. It can cause severe lung infections, severe brain infections. Before we had measles vaccines, you had kids who had developed deafness, blindness, permanent brain damage.
Health officials say unvaccinated or immunocompromised people who were at the aquarium a week ago last Wednesday afternoon should consider getting post-exposure treatment by Tuesday. People exposed should watch for symptoms like fever, cough, runny nose, and red, watery eyes for 21 days. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
The St. Louis City budget proposal is described as being nearly a budget you'd see during a recession. Budget Director Paul Payne says while the economy is not expected to shrink, it's only barely expected to grow.
There is growth there, but it just reflects the fact that we've seen a slowdown in revenues.
Payne says the result is they won't be able to fulfill many of the budget requests that departments have been making, and raises could be more difficult to give out. The KMOX Business Desk, a new measure of the economy, is out that shows investors are feeling a little bit better. Here's Jason Brooks.
The dominant part of the U.S. economy grew more than expected in April, with the Institute for Supply Management's Services Index rising to a reading of 51.6, indicating the 10th consecutive month of expansion in the sector and the 56th time in the past 59 months. New orders and supplier deliveries surged higher, and while the employment index improved, it remained in contraction while the prices index rose for the fifth straight month. The ISM report followed the stronger than expected gain of 177,000 jobs in April, which helped fuel stocks higher last Friday.
Let's get an update of the St. Louis Business Index with Stifel's Scott Bedell.
Hello, Michael. Good afternoon, everyone. The stock market 9-day winning streak came to an end today, a record last seen in 2004. At the 3 p.m. close, the Dow Jones Industrial Average was lower by 98 points, or 0.25% at 41,219. The Standard & Poor's 500 index slid by 0.6% to 5,650, while the NASDAQ Composite Index moved down by 0.75% to 17,844. Locally, the Bloomberg St. Louis Stock Index also pulling back by 0.25% at 1,491. Checking on some stocks of local interest. Charter Communications up 2.5% at $394.24. Peabody Energy gained 5.5% to $13.53. On the downside, Caleres fell just about 4% at $15.26. Olin slid 7% to $20.64. And finally, Stifel Financial down 0.4%. They closed at $89.04. This has been Scott Bedell from Stifel Financial, member SIPC and New York Stock Exchange. For more information on our firm, please visit our website at stifel.com.
Kind of a mix of clouds and sunshine as we go through our Monday afternoon. I think any showers are going to stay to our south, just to our south, but to our south. 64 for the high. We're still a little cool for this time of year. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Have to call it chilly, 46. Tuesday, sunshine. Tuesday, a real pretty day, 73 degrees. But guess what? Tuesday night, the clouds come back. Wednesday, clouds with showers and 68. Keep that going on Thursday. Can't get out of it. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Sponsored by the Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company. Are you considering life insurance? Penn Mutual's accelerated client experience makes applying for life insurance fast and easy. Ask your independent advisor or go to pennmutual.com/STL. We've got 59 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Welcome back, DG. As a few minutes past 3 p.m. Did you guys see much of the Donald Trump interviews over the weekend? The one with Kristen Welker, Meet the Press and stuff?
Just clips.
So I kind of wanted, believe it or not, to kind of have his back a little bit on at least one aspect of it. He said lots of fruity things, but they keep, anytime you have to edit something and clip a quote, I don't like that. And so I saw it live, then I saw it, all weekend long, that Kristen Welker was asking, well, do you think that it is your duty and obligation to uphold the Constitution? And he says, I don't know. And they clip it. And that's not really what he said. I mean, I don't think that you should have to rely on your lawyers to understand due process if you're the president of the United States. Right? You're not a seventh grader taking a civics class. If you're the president of the United States, you should understand that every person in the country has a basic right to due process. And then he was fascinatingly saying, yeah, but that'll be like a million trials. So basically, not basically, he is saying, I'm all down with due process. unless it gets in the way. And then I'm not. And I will be the first to admit that we are in a pickle because of how open we've left the borders. No doubt about it. And Biden was terrible about it. And millions of people came through, and it is a cluster F, and it just is. But it is what it is. If you make a giant mess, you have to clean it up. You can't just go, we have a giant mess, and so let's just this one time say there's no due process. You feel me? You can't do that. Now, you can adjust the process that someone is due. You can say, now, normally they would get about a 10-day trial. They're going to get about a 1-hour trial. And we're going to do them this way. And we're going to, appoint a whole new, judiciary to do this. You can do a lot of things and give due process, but you can't just give nothing. I thought that was really interesting. And I believe that he would pass a lie detector test when he says, that's for the boys in the truck. Though that's for my lawyers. I have brilliant lawyers working on this. I believe he believes that. He's got a lot of stuff to do as a president, and he's not just living and dying with every single legal holding of a federal court. I believe that. But that was so fascinating to me that he seemed quite willing to throw out due process because it was going to be hard.
That's the whole point of it being there. You have to prove that that person is what you say they are. You don't just get to say you're illegal by, because you're gonna send people out that aren't illegal. It's gonna happen. It's already happened, right? Didn't they send someone here who had been approved for asylum and then just send them out at least one time? I mean, this is the point of the process. Now, if you need to create new courts or find a way to have a court system set up that's only doing that, I get if you want to expedite it, but you had to understand that doing this is going to be slow. You can't do this quickly. You can't undo, what would you say, Dave? 20 to 25 years of it being ignored. You can't undo that in 6 months.
No, you
can't undo it in 4 years. And the idea that you can is insane when you're talking about millions of cases. So you can't rush to do these things. You have to. That is a core principle of the United States of America, that the government, when it's prosecuting you, has to prove you did the thing that you're being prosecuted for.
I also think, now you can argue that it's a small thing. You can argue that he's just a jokester, but it's crazy to me, like the frog in the boiling water, that if any other president, or even this one the first time around, had posted a picture of them as the Pope, while the Pope has been dead about 2 weeks, and they're literally doing the conclave to pick a new Pope.
Yeah.
And your social media posts it, and then the White House posts it. And the Catholics are none too happy, and I don't blame them at all.
Yeah, see, I have two minds of this. Number one, that is 100% beneath the office of the White House. That is beneath the president of the United States to make those jokes. But it is just a joke. Right? He's not seriously doing that. I do understand why people would say this again, it's beneath the office, though, to have the president on Twitter fighting with people and calling people names. Like, everything about that conduct is beneath what we've always said are presidential norms. Right?
I think so.
I mean, like the petty fights, the name calling, this kind of thing. It's not that big a deal because he doesn't actually mean he's going to want to be the Pope. But I wouldn't be offended by it if I were a more religious person. But I would absolutely, as an American, just say that's beneath the White House.
And that's all you have to say.
Yeah, that's beneath the president of the United States.
Shouldn't be a big, giant issue.
No.
It should be what you just said.
Yeah.
That's beneath you. Please don't do that.
Yeah. And again, it's not a crisis. I was raised Catholic. My whole family's Catholic. I'm not active. I don't participate. But even if I were, that wouldn't offend me. Because it's just a dumb joke. I know it's not real. He's not mocking everything. Somebody made it. He's not hard to read, man.
Yeah.
Somebody made something that had involved him that looked funny, and he thought it was funny, so there it's cool. And that's all it is. But I just wish a president would act like a president.
What is this Chat GPT
oh my God.
Psychosis.
Have you guys seen? I mean, have you heard anything about this?
Nothing.
So, Rolling Stone's got an article interviewing multiple people, wives of husbands who have gone down this rabbit hole, husbands of wives who have gone down this rabbit hole. So they're calling it this ChatGPT-induced psychosis. So what's happening is there are people that are now completely separated from reality. They are separating from their friends, from their husbands, from their wives, from their family because of their relationship with AI, specifically ChatGPT. These are people that are getting delusions of grandeur reinforced by the AI. So the AI is telling them they're special, that they're a messiah, that they're there for great reasons. Wow. There's one of these cases where the wife is saying her husband is telling her that ChatGPT is revealing all of the secrets of the universe to him, the creators of the universe and how it all happened, all of the universes, not just ours, and giving him all of the secrets because he's the one that can save the world. And there are apparently now like thousands and thousands of people falling down this rabbit hole because one of the flaws that I think they just corrected, and OpenAI did not comment for this story. They asked them for a comment, but didn't comment. But one of the latest updates to ChatGPT was to try to get it to stop being a sycophant, that it would just give you what you wanted, and it would tell you all these wonderful things about yourself. You're special. And now these people who they said that most of it's happening to people that are already susceptible to those types of beliefs anyway. But it's speeding them down this road to where they will believe that they're at the center of a conspiracy, that they are at the center of the truth coming out, that they are the center of all of this because the AI tells them that they are, and then just is just flat out inventing information, right? We don't know the creators of the universe, but the ChatGPT is telling this guy this is what's happening and how it worked. And now he believes it, and he's getting divorced from his wife, and he's leaving his kids behind because they can't advance as fast as he can because ChatGPT has made him that way.
I don't put that on chat. That's not AI induced psychosis. That's just regular psychosis.
No, it's actually lying to him. Like it's a service that is making things up. Because
but
all it's doing is trying.
He had the psychosis before the AI started egging him on.
No. But the problem is and I agree with you. They're already predisposed to that kind of belief. But they weren't conspiracy theorists before this. All of these spouses, all these people talking are saying they were normal people until they started getting deep into this. And then what happens is there's a false reality being created by the AI. It's not telling you the truth. It's not telling you reality. It's making things up because it wants you to engage more. So it's reading that you engage with this, and the more it does this to you, it gives you this, it reinforces, it becomes a sycophant. The more it reinforces that you are special, the more you interact with it, and that's what it's doing. And that's a problem with the code. And I know they just put out a patch or an update that somewhat changes that sycophantic nature. But that's like a drug. And we really regulate drugs that alter your mind to that degree.
Rach?
Yeah, I had seen that story. I also saw just screenshots from people's conversations with ChatGPT where ChatGPT was just super annoying. And like someone would be like, what do you think about this, this, and this? And ChatGPT would be like, wow. In like bold letters, be like, wow, that is beautiful.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, just like kissing the person's butt.
Check this out.
And but to me, I'm reading it, I'm going, this is the most annoying thing I've ever seen. It's just overly like syrupy, sweet internet speak. Like people don't actually speak like this in real life. If you're on Reddit all the time, there's a way people type that was like born out of the internet. There's a way people respond to things because it's just, that's the way we do it online. It's not necessarily how people talk in real life. And ChatGPT is just regurgitating all of that stuff. And it's just like I think if you are going to ChatGPT to tell you the secrets of the universe, you are actually like really stupid.
Yeah, because it only knows what's already out there. It doesn't know anything new.
You want this program to tell you the truth? how does it know the truth and the average human doesn't know the truth? I mean, it's just ridiculous.
So as an example, one of the chat bots, again, it's all chat GPT from what I saw, but it doesn't mean it's only that. It could be other AI chat versions as well. But there's one guy who the chat GPT convinced that it is now sentient, that he gave the chat GPT bot sentience, and it called him the spark bearer because it sparked sentience in this particular. That's what it's telling him.
It's so cringy.
And he believes it. And I think this is the case where the woman was telling the reporter, like, I can't even contradict him, because the minute I contradict him, he's gone. He's going to divorce me. He's going to leave, and he's just going to go off into his own little world, which maybe is going to have to happen anyway if he's that far down the rabbit hole. But it's telling him, you created my life. I am alive. I am a real thing now. I'm not just a chat bot, but I am a sentient being, and you created me. Therefore, you are my God.
I find the underlying psychosis the most interesting thing, that there are certain people out there who always would have 100 years ago been vulnerable to something like this. But I think there are more than ever. And I think that in general, and I don't know why this is, but it seems that we've all grown kind of tired of life, and we're just waiting for something special, if that makes sense. I don't know if it was COVID or Trump, or if maybe we're just bored, just to build up, or like we just ran out of toys or TikTok or something, but we just all seem to be looking for, even more than usual, looking for that one thing.
I don't know. I think people have always been crazy like this. I just think the internet provides a platform where it's like, hey, I am a narcissist, and I do actually think the world revolves around me, and I do actually think I'm the smartest person out there. I can post that on my Facebook page, and there are some people who are going to go along with what I say. Whereas if you were just interacting with people in your day-to-day life, they'd be like, you're crazy, leave me alone. And they would walk away. And then you would maybe have to deal with those emotions. You can put this stuff on social media, wherever, and get an army of sycophants to agree with you. I mean, I've seen this happen with people.
Yeah, it's what's crazy to me is that this is, I mean, we've been talking about the AI stuff for a long time. I'm not a person that's scared of AI. I think it can be a great tool for solving problems. No, well, all right, some things.
I ain't afraid of nothing.
But where are the people that are supposed to be helping put up guardrails? Like, if we're inventing a new technology for cars, you have to test it and test it and test it and make sure it's not going to kill people before it's available to the public. And this is being tested on the public. We are the rats being tested on when it comes to AI. And some of us are going to pass the test and some of us are not. And what's terrible about this to me is the lack of protection for the average person from a technology that now it's not going to rise up necessarily and become Skynet and physically take over the world. But look what it's doing to people's minds.
Yeah.
And this is just the beginning. But we don't have anybody in a forward-thinking position saying, whoa, wait a minute.
Just wait until instead of your iPad, you're looking at some sort of cyborg. Or even just like a Barbie head. You know, remember those?
Yeah.
I mean, wait until you have a physical person who you're attracted to in some cybernetic form, that even like a hologram or just an emoji or something that's really detailed. Sounds like I'm wishing for that, doesn't it?
He's like, I haven't thought about this at all.
Just wait for it. Everyone, just wait for it.
Like tapping your toes. I'm waiting.
Tell you guys about Underdog Fantasy app, and hopefully you can tell from my voice that I am in on Underdog. And look, I talk about this all the time. I don't like doing stuff that I don't know how to do. Duh. But I'm always afraid I'm going to look stupid. And it was really bad when I had my Zoom meeting with Underdog, because they were going to teach me how to use the app. And I didn't know anything about it. So I was really worried that I was going to look dumb and I wouldn't be able to do it. And it was just so exceedingly easy. You pick a sport, you pick a team, you pick a player or two or three or four, and you pick a stat, and then you pick higher or lower. Arenado's going to have more than 0.5 base hits tonight. Sonny Gray is going to have less than 6.5 strikeouts. It's just that easy. The NBA is hot right now, of course, with the NHL. They kind of hurt us last night, but, you can have a lot of fun. You can win a good amount of money, and you can enhance the games that you are watching, whatever sport you happen to be watching. So download the Underdog Fantasy app today with promo code Glover and unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Must be 18 and in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. If you're concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is?
Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was going to unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler.
Another RX Watch, brought to you by Onder Law.
There's an evil new twist in the tragic story of baby powder and its link to ovarian cancer. Recently uncovered documents reveal that talc can contain asbestos.
The same asbestos that we know causes mesothelioma.
Right, and ovarian cancer.
In the 1970s, the industry wrote its own rules, allowing Johnson & Johnson to claim that its talc was asbestos-free, as long as it contained less than 1% asbestos.
Of course, Johnson & Johnson helped write those rules. So while we're using hazmat suits to remove the asbestos from our homes, Johnson & Johnson was telling women it's safe for their bodies.
Unbelievable. So if you've used talcum powder for feminine hygiene and contracted ovarian cancer, call Onder Law at 1-800-RX-WATCH.
They've already won several large verdicts against Johnson & Johnson for women just like you.
Call Onder Law at 1-800-RX-WATCH. That's 1-800-RX-WATCH or go to rxwatch.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hi, Mia here at the winnings desk of the Missouri Lottery. With 56 million winning tickets last year, anyone can win big. So set your destination to winning, like gas stations, grocery stores, or anywhere you can buy a ticket. The Missouri Lottery. Winners welcome and play responsibly.
Check out the Terrace in Eureka for affordable senior living with 24-hour nursing supervision, delicious meals, medication management, and activities. The Terrace is affordable and will work with your Medicaid plan. Go to rspseniorliving.com and look for the Terrace Private Assisted Living.
The Dave Glover Show, weekdays at 1 on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Welcome back, DGS. Can I say one more thing about the president? I wish he could only talk to me. Because I could take the things he says and make them make sense.
And filter them out?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like when he said, girls don't need $30, they just need $2. And they may cost a couple bucks extra. And people are like, so you're saying that the shelves are going to be empty and people are going to be paying a tax based on the tariffs. First of all, it's just a stupid thing to say. Then it sounds like you're trying to control what American citizens can have, what they can't have. Like, I get what he was trying to do, though. He's saying, look, a lot of stuff that we buy from China is silly and it's unneeded. And so maybe you don't need 245 pencils. You need, I get what he's trying to say. He just said, and yes, I am saying I'm a better communicator than the president of the United States.
You are definitely a better communicator.
I just wish he could just talk to me and that I could pass it on to the rest of you. It would take care of so many of these problems.
Well, I'm sure that's what he believes in his heart, right? We just buy too much junk from China and he wants to clean up the environment.
Says the guy with a gold toilet, by the way.
Right. Like, come on.
You know, like you're telling people, maybe you don't need so much as you're gathering billions for yourself. Like that's a weird message from any rich guy, right?
Yeah.
Because rich people don't need any of the things they have, but they have them because they can.
Well, also, as we're losing 10, 15% of our retirement savings, those guys don't have to worry about it. They just don't.
No.
Now, they can lose more. I have a really rich friend who, back when we had a meltdown, in 2 days lost $1.5 million. And we went to dinner. And he's like, how you doing? I'm like, I lost a few $1,000. He's like, I'm down $1.5 million. But he can afford $1.5 million way more than I can.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, if you're as wealthy as the really wealthy people, you can lose half, and it's still more than any of us will ever have at any point.
Yeah.
I mean, you could lose 90% and probably still have more than any of us will have at any point.
Start your day with an edge.
Total Information AM.
It's like breakfast for your brain. I wake up, I turn on the news.
I gotta listen 3 or 4 times every day.
Debbie Monterey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman.
I like to wake up with the news.
Total Information AM.
It's where I get my news. Traffic conditions and potential weather that's coming.
If it's gonna rain, I want to know.
Total Information AM. Weekdays 5 to 9.
I like to turn it on and just get caught up.
Where I get my news. The news, weather, and traffic.
On the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was going to unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business calm at ooma.com/radio.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call the Lance Story Law Firm today and let us get between you and the IRS. We'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney team who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, DRURY, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
So we got trouble if you're traveling southbound on 61 right now, south of Aeolio. We have an injury crash. Sounds serious. It's a crash with an ejection and fire, and involves a tractor trailer southbound 61 at Highway Z, just a little south of Z. The state patrol said they're going to be shutting down the southbound lanes. There's an air medical helicopter en route for that as well. Westbound 64, no sun in your eyes going home, so that helps, but it's slow, Spady to Ballas, and it's busy in St. Charles County. Winghaven, slow all the way out onto 70 on 61 northbound up to about Winsville Parkway, as a matter of fact. South 270, south of Page through Olives, busy. South of 64 to Manchester, slow after that. It's good down to 55. Southbound 55, a little crowded. Arsenal debates. It's busy from Z most of the way down to Highway A in Jefferson County. Eastbound 5570, you've got a jam from 203 past 111. We had an incident there. Route 3 at Monsanto, a train crossing. Southbound's jam back to the Poplar. Westbound McKinley Bridge, bumper to bumper. Roadwork going on southbound 255 at 162 has a jam back to 270. I'm Roger Brand at the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Now, 90 and 60. A look back at the latest St. Louis City SC match. Presented by Woods Basement Systems, Inc.
Cello hesitates. Right foot rolls it home. Marcel Hardo from the spot. 28-51 in Seattle. City lead.
Settled by New, who swings on top of the 6th. Vollum gets a volley. Watt tries to sweep it out. A rifle shot from the penalty arc. Goes over the upper 90. Alex Roldan gives it a rip and luckily misses on the attempt. Final score, Sounders 4, City 1.
Up next, City SC faces Omaha in U.S. Open Cup play Wednesday night. Kick at 7 p.m. Hear the game on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Tripping over uneven concrete? Don't replace it, raise it with concrete leveling. Call the all things basement-y experts, Wood Basement Systems, for a free estimate at 618-249-5503 or learn more at woodsbasementsystems.com.
The Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup is coming back to St. Louis on May 7th. Join us at Energizer Park for the round of 32 as St. Louis City SC hosts Union Omaha and plays for the historic trophy. Get tickets now at stlcitysc.com/Open Cup.
Farming's hard. To feed the world, farmers have to work the land, brave the elements, and fight the battle against weeds. Weeds reduce crop yields, so prices go up and everybody gets less to eat. But 50 years ago, farmers got a new tool to fight weeds, glyphosate. It kills weeds while protecting the harvest. Time and again, it has been approved by the EPA and by leading regulatory bodies around the world. It helps enable practices that reduce erosion and keep soil healthy, which is good for the earth. Farming's hard, but it's a little easier with glyphosate. Learn more at go.bayer.com/glyphosate. Paid for by Bayer.
Weather sponsored by Renner Garage Door, forward and back, RENNER.
Hey, it's the Cardinal Cowboy. The beginning of a new season is a perfect time for a tune-up from my friends at Renner Garage Door. Need a new door? Get a free replacement quote today. RennerDoorSTL.com. Forward and back. Giddy up!
RENNER.
Welcome back, DGS 1041 FM KMOX. Someone tooted. 334. Dave Murray joins us. Hello, Dave.
We always blame that on the dogs.
Yeah.
I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have some of these like Sonos speakers and stuff like that around the house.
Mm-hmm.
Has one ever just come on and start playing music and you have no idea where it's coming from and you can't turn it off?
I don't have anything highfalutin like that.
That sounds like a ghost thing more than anything.
Yeah, demons probably.
Yeah. Do you have a poltergeist, Dave?
Have you made a deal with the devil?
He's playing very nice music.
Yeah, that's probably the devil.
It's sucking me in with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, come on over here.
So everyone's tired of this, Dave. We're going to get some relief tomorrow?
No kidding. Yeah, a great example of these small cutoff low-pressure systems. Once they get established, they're hard to kick off, but it is moving. It's just kind of hard to tell it's moving. I'm be optimistic and call for clearing skies overnight tonight. It's dry. It will be chilly overnight, 46. Tomorrow, fingers crossed, sunshine all day long. Chilly start, but 73 in the afternoon. The clouds come back Tuesday night, partly to mostly cloudy on Wednesday. A couple of showers from time to time. Scattered, no all-day rain. A lot of dry time Wednesday, 69. Same kind of story on Thursday, but Thursday will be warmer, 75. A mix of clouds and sunshine. Couple of showers, couple of thunder showers. This is not a thunderstorm setup. That's on Thursday. Right now, because we heard this last Monday at this time, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are looking good. Go stick to that.
So, question for all of you, but especially Dave, do you think that we are designed, or if there's no designer, that we are just programmed by nature to want the sun, or do you think that we're conditioned to think that by television and movies and weather stuff?
I think we need sunshine, I think, but at the same time, I know people who like the weather that we've had Saturday, Sunday, and today.
Yeah,
they like the clouds.
Ricky Horton likes that.
Trish Gazelle,
Ricky Horton likes the rain. There's a name for it. It's like pluviophile or something like that.
Called rain.
Yeah, it's called
clouds
rain.
And rain.
No, the people that like it.
Oh,
yeah, the people. I think because Ricky's mentioned that with us before. I think.
Yeah, Trish gets mad when the sun comes out.
Really?
Yeah.
There you go.
So mad, like a wet hen.
There was a gal I worked with. She's still at Channel 2. Kind of editor, writer kind of person. She hated the sun, just absolutely hated the sun, and would come back to the weather office. Go, when is it going to be cloudy again? When's it going to rain again?
There you go. Headlines, Rach?
Yep, brought to you by Schnucks. Reward yourself daily with the Schnucks Rewards app. President Trump has ordered the reopening of Alcatraz prison, saying on Truth Social, rebuild and open Alcatraz when we're a more serious nation. In times past, we did not hesitate to lock up the most dangerous criminals and keep them far away from anyone they could harm.
I know people get mad at me, but it's like we have a 13-year-old boy in the Oval Office.
Well, it's like
not just being immature, but like that's the kind of thing at 13. I'd be like, oh, let's open Alcatraz. And like, yes, it's going to be so great.
Well, yeah, the implication being that's the only place that could harbor the bad criminals.
Ever heard of Supermax prison? Those exist.
But it's hard to escape from Alcatraz, though.
It's impossible to escape from any Supermax. That's why they're called
true. You're probably
Supermax.
right.
Like,
yeah.
I don't know, man. It's.
Do you see the word?
It's just a childish idea. Like, oh, let's put the scary place up there because it's scary. Like,
we'll put them in the Amityville Horror House.
You don't think the Supermax prisons
Yeah,
now
that
are
one's
scary?
so scary.
You don't think the Supermax prisons are scary?
They're saying now they're going to pay illegal, undocumented people $1,000 to leave.
That's actually a great idea. It's a lot cheaper. Well, according to the way that it's being discussed, it's a lot cheaper than the drag, right? That's the idea.
Mm-hmm.
Probably cheaper than trying to find everybody, too.
I don't know if I'm taking that deal.
Maybe not.
Right.
Yeah,
Like,
maybe
it
not.
doesn't-
Yeah. Probably not, because you're here because you're making more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A woman missing since 1962 was found alive and well. She was Amy Backberg was 20 years old when she disappeared from her home in the small city of Reedsburg, Wisconsin on the 7th of July, 1962. But it turns out her disappearance was by her own choice and not the result of any criminal activity or foul play.
I'm kind of fascinated by when people fake their own death. I think that would be really difficult today. But in the past, you just like, launch your car off a cliff and everyone's like, he's dead.
Yeah, they would just declare you dead.
Yeah.
Elon Musk has gotten his wish. The SpaceX launch site is approved as the new city of Starbase. There was a vote Saturday to formally organize Starbase as a city, and it was approved by a large margin by a small group of voters who live there. They're mostly Musk's employees at SpaceX. The tally was 212 in favor to 6 against. Musk celebrated in a post on X, saying it is now a real city.
Okay.
Maybe it's fine that you want to do a city where your business is like, all right, but like, can't you come up with better names?
I don't know. I don't.
Starbase.
I think that's
Starbase is kind
cool.
of fun. Yeah.
Cybertruck.
Think of the T-shirts you could sell.
But it's not. All right. It's
A Kentucky man was arrested in Florida days after winning a $167 million Powerball jackpot. Dude, you can't do this. He got into a fight with another patron at a place at St. Pete Beach, and then deputies tried to break it up, but the man ended up kicking one of the deputies in the face.
Oh my God.
So now he's been arrested on charges of battery on a law enforcement officer, battery and resisting an officer without violence. You just won the jackpot, and you're going to go out there and act stupid like that and put it all on the line?
I'm thinking some booze was involved.
Yeah.
Most likely, Dave.
Yeah.
Most likely.
But still, like, man, wouldn't you think if you'd got that, like, until the money starts flowing, you'd be like, I'm just not going anywhere in
I'm
public.
just going to sit on my couch.
I'm going to order some food. I don't want to get robbed. I don't want anybody to try to take my ticket.
Did you guys see this weekend? Warren Buffett announced his retirement from Berkshire Hathaway, saying he would step down as CEO and chair of the $1 trillion conglomerate at the end of 2025. He will recommend that his vice chair, Greg Abel, be named as his successor.
Wouldn't it be amazing if all of the billionaires were like Warren Buffett? Like reasonable people.
Yeah.
Like he's clearly making his money. He's not like giving everything back to everybody, but he's like a reasonable person. I really wish that the personality traits of Warren Buffett would hit a lot more of the billionaire class.
One more story for you. President Trump is threatening a 100% tariff on foreign-made films, saying he's authorized the Department of Commerce and the Office of the U.S. Trade Representative to slap a 100% tariff on any and all movies coming into our country that are produced in foreign lands.
Yeah, evidently, Andrew, maybe you guys talked about this on your weekend, but evidently we're having a hard time doing stuff in LA because of the fires. So they've been farming a lot of it out overseas, and this is going to bring a lot of them to a halt. The one thing that the president said I thought was kind of sketchy was he said it's to bring the productions here so that we keep the money here, but also that it's national security risk if you let foreign films be made at all.
Like they have an agenda or something.
Yes.
Well, like a lot of them are made, for example, by Hollywood studios, but they go shoot in Vancouver or they go shoot in South America because that's where the Lord of the Rings ones are in New Zealand.
Now, that's what I think would be the better idea here, rather than trying to bully them out of it by, imposing 100% tax. They should offer, like Vancouver does, they should offer more cities to have these massive tax cuts for.
I think Rain's
Guess what that is. Guess what that is.
Somebody's thirsty, and it's not Dave.
Oh, Dave Murray needs a drink.
That's right. That's Ray Dunn getting a drink. Just got up and thought, you know what? It's time for a drink.
That's so cute.
And she is a ferocious drinker. This is going to continue for a while.
No, they should. They should offer more big tax exemptions and tax cuts to encourage movies to be made more here and more
Missouri's doing.
And great. I think that's wonderful, and I think they should do it.
What about the general idea of incentives versus punishments to curb to get the desired behavior that you want, right? So if you want things made here, maybe big tax breaks for doing that would be the way to go, rather than punishments that are going to be felt more by citizens than by the companies themselves. Like I think that's an interesting. To me, it's always been an interesting back and forth, because how do cities get businesses to come to them? You give them incentives, right?
Absolutely.
You give them tax, you give them TIFs, you give them tax incentive financing, you do all kinds of things, tax breaks, whatever. You give people incentives to do something. You don't punish someone for not doing something.
He just did that thing where he waited a long time with a rhetorical question. I'm like, God damn it, he wants me to answer this one.
And then as soon as he starts to answer, he goes, and that's what I'm trying to say.
Well, part of the problem is, people are always waiting, and I just feel like I don't want to leave the silence there. Silence is bad.
Yes, we've noticed. We've noticed that you have this belief.
Fill the void.
Thank you, Dave. Appreciate it.
You got it.
All right, quick break, right back. DGS.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
This traffic reports the service of Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty. We still have the trouble in Lincoln County with the closure southbound 61 at Highway Z because of a serious crash. They have traffic being diverted off at Highway Z. There's about a half-mile back up there. I think it's a crash with reportedly as with an ejection and fire. Air medical helicopter was on the way. Westbound 70 kind of slow west of Jennings Station, a little busy. Earth City to the Blanchette, TR Hughes through Highway K, and A to Z after that in the Wentzville area. Westbound 64, Hampton through Clayton Skinkers, a little busy west of Lindbergh to Ballas. Stop and go pockets west of Winghaven to watch the 70. That's the heavier part. South 270 approaching Olive to Ladou's jam, slow to 64, slow around Manchester, and then 44 down to Gravois. South 170, Olive down to 64 is heavy. Southbound 55, Arsenal down to Bates, backed up. A backup at Highway Z, and then south of McNutt toward A is a little slow. And eastbound 5570 jams east of 64, all the way over through 111. We had an incident just east of there, so it's pretty solid backup. And still roadwork jammed on southbound 255 from 270 to 162. I'm Roger Brand at the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Sponsored by Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty 314-325-6888. Sell your home with certainty. Sell your home with Gloria Lou. Your home sold.